playoff games. Mayday for the Hawks. Down 2-0. They hope that's not a distress signal. Live on CBC, Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Molson, bringing you the finest in hockey broadcasting for 25 years. Canadian Tire, there's more to Canadian Tire than tires. Seiko, people trust Seiko more than any other watch. Esso, responding to your needs makes us better. You make us better. And by Ford of Canada. At Ford, quality is job one, right down the line. There's nothing about the Chicago Stadium that will bother or excite anybody when it's empty like this. But as the fans begin to first trickle in and then pour in, they turn the Chicago Stadium into hockey's loudest madhouse. Good evening and welcome everyone to Game 3 of the Campbell Conference Final. I'm Dave Hodge, along with Bob Cole and Mickey Redmond and Don Cherry, and I'm going to take a peek to see if the cheers are for the Hawks. No, they aren't even on the ice yet. First, the Oilers were booed, and now the fans are awaiting their home team. Well, the crowd is at the whole story tonight. How about Gretzky against Savard? In the first game, Wayne Gretzky had 5 points, a goal and 4 assists. Savard had 3 points, but still Gretzky outpointed him. And then in game number 2, Gretzky had a goal and an assist. Savard had nothing. If Gretzky continues to get more points than Savard, it's hard to see Chicago winning this series. It might be tough, even if Savard can outpoint Gretzky, because the Oilers have so much more scoring beyond number 99. Well, let's get a top-level view of what's going on here as we join Bob Cole and Mickey Redmond.
Okay, Dave, you can hear the crowd, folks. They're going nuts here in Chicago because down there, the Blackhawks are now putting in an appearance. Mickey Redmond, Edmonton Oilers have completely dominated the Chicago Blackhawk team, outscoring them 16-6. Can the Hawks beat this team? What do they got to do?
I think they can, Bob, but the Hawks have been worried too much, I think, about the Edmonton Oilers and not enough about themselves. Orville Tessier said before the game, we've got to forget the Oilers and how well they're playing. Let's go out and play our game because we're a darn good hockey team. We proved it all year. Now let's go out and do it against the Oilers now.
Okay, Mickey, they've had 4 days off. That has to help somebody. I believe if it's going to help one team or the other, it might be Chicago.
Well, the Hawks are happy to have the 4-day rest. The Oilers are on a roll. They got a few days to kind of cool them off, and they hope they can come back and play that kind of hockey here at the stadium themselves.
Okay, Mickey, our Stanley Cup playoff coverage will continue in just a moment.
From July 1st to 11th, Edmonton will host the World University Games. Thousands of the world's greatest university athletes will be pursuing the ultimate human challenge, excellence. As an official sponsor, Molson is proud to welcome the world.
Don Cherry, one quick comment before the anthem. Can this crowd help the Hawks as much as the Hawks hope it can help them?
They're even putting their lights on. If this crowd doesn't get them going, the organ, the diesel horn, then Tessier's right. They do need a hard tread. I'll tell you, this is one crowd you're going to hear a noise. Possibly the biggest crowd ever in this building for a hockey game.
Danger for the Hawks might be that they assume the crowd will do the work for them. I mean, the crowd can't win the hockey game, right?
I see Andy Mogies hollering right along with them. The last time in here, 10-4 for the Oilers. This crowd gets them going the same way as the Hawks.
Well, let's listen to them sing now.
With
way to start it. That's Wayne Mesmer with the national anthems. The officials tonight, Andy Van Helleman, the veteran from Winnipeg, Manitoba, and the linesmen, Ray Scampanello and Wayne Bonney. And the goaltenders tonight, Andy Moog for Edmonton. He has played in all 10 playoff games. 285 goals against average, second only to Billy Smith of the Islanders, 2.67. Down at the other end, well, they wanted some experience tonight. They got it in Tony Esposito, 40 years old last week, 15 years in the National League. Becky, here we go. This is a key game.
Well, you got it, Bob. The first 10 minutes of this hockey game could mean the whole series, especially the Chicago Blackhawks. You look at Orville Tessier behind that Blackhawk bench. He is looking forward to this crowd helping his hockey club. The men that have to do it are out there now, Secord, Savard, and Larmer, and he's starting them right off the bat, and as I mentioned, the first 10 minutes, very important.
So it's Linsman, Lindstrom, and Messier for Edmonton. Down on the defense is Lowe and Fogelin. And for Chicago, Savard, Larmer, and Secord, as Mickey said, Wilson and Murray, the two defensemen. Wilson is hammered on the boards, the first check of the hockey game, as Messier was in there. Here come the Hawks, Secord moving in. He takes the shot. That's deflected away. Andy Moog watching the play in behind the net. There's Secord. Dangerous. Good forechecker. Big, strong Secord. Lost it. Got it near the line, but could not keep it onside.
Big Al Secord, that was a questionable call. It looked like at the blue line. That puck very close to the line. Secord with 54 goals in the regular season.
Not dressed tonight, you see them. Riviere, Pozar, Habscheid, Nachbauer, and Unger for Edmonton. And the Chicago scratches. But, Mickey, this is one heck of a turnaround game. If Chicago wants to do anything in this series, they have to do it. And it looks like they're starting out looking for that first goal.
Well, Tessier, Bob, was complaining that his Hawks were not finishing their checks very well in the first two hockey games in Edmonton. The Hawks are going to be sending two men in full flight tonight and trying to forecheck the Oilers, force them to make mistakes, and not let them wind up and get some momentum.
The Lysiak line with Sutter and Preston on the ice, and look who's coming in now. Curry, Anderson, big save by Esposito. Gretzky going in back of the net, looking for it. In front it comes. Oh, a great chance for Edmonton to open the scoring, just missing. But they were dangerous. Esposito was sharp on that first big save. Coffey back there with Huddy. Huddy for the Edmonton Oilers. He has been lugging the puck well. Coming in with Anderson, Gretzky, and Curry. Here's a chance in front. Esposito down, covering up on Huddy. He had the low shot, but just missed. The Hawks now to center. Coming in is Preston. Backhand shot deflected by Coffey. In comes Sutter to help him. On the other side, Lysiak. Good play to the line. Brown can't get a shot. Moving in deep is Keith Brown. Coming in front. Upended. He went flying, but he made a good bid for the first goal of this game. It's scoreless nearing the 2-minute mark of this opening period. And from the looks of things, Mick, we're in for a dandy tonight.
Well, the Hawks are skating pretty well here in the opening minutes. Keith Brown making a super move to cut in front of the net. I don't know how that thing stayed out. Moog must have got a piece of it, as Brown was allowed to circle around the outside, just keeping it in at the blue line, and all by himself rushed it out in front of the net, almost jammed it in. But this crowd is unbelievable here. There's over 20,000 people in this building. There's a look at that rush by Brown, and look at that. He comes out in front. Moog does get the goal stick on it, right across the far side. It's almost imperative that the Hawks get out to a lead here, Bob. They did score the first goal in games 1 and 2. Then they sat back and watched the Oilers do their thing.
So it's Savard, Larmer in Secord again for the Chicago Blackhawks. Wilson inside the line with Bob Murray over there, number 6. Edmonton with a Linsman line. Face-off comes to the blue line. In front of the net, tricking Savard. Played it in behind the goal. Here comes Secord. He'll hang on to it, flipping into the corner and keeping it in for Chicago. Savard looking dangerous. Took a shot, another shot. Moog is down, and he hangs on to it. But Savard has come to play tonight.
Well, you knew that was going to happen. The young man has got to put a show on, and he's doing it already. Look at this, the puck handling. control. The Oilers all going for the front of the net, and Larmer and Secord. And Savard, I think he'd like to have picked that top right-hand corner over top of Andy Moog's trapper. Could not get it up high enough. And Moog, who's a stand-up goaltender all the way, held his ground.
Glenn Sather has been more than pleased with his goaltending in the playoffs. He was telling me today if Andy Moog has a fault, it may be that he's a slow starter. So you know what, Mick? They come out and give him a harder warm-up. They get him going. I think they have him going already.
Completely two different styles with Esposito, the flip-floppy kind of goalie, and Moog a stand-up.
There's the shot, just grazed the post. Brown tries it again. Flipped in behind the net. And they're hitting hard in this opening 3 minutes. They've played 2.5 exactly now in this first period here in the Chicago Stadium. And over 20,000 on hand to see their Hawks against the high-flying, awesome Edmonton Oilers. Esposito tipped it away. Higgins will bring it out. Coming down to center ice, Higgins. Fraser with him on the left. A pass to Fraser. He had to hook it back. Feimster couldn't keep it in, but Fraser does. Now Hughes for Edmonton. Down to center ice. On the wing, Gregg, the defenseman, moving up. Crossman cleared it. Coffey waiting in the center ice area. No score of this opening period. Esposito watching it. And the two teams are changing now. Lysiak is on there again for Chicago. Played it to the right side to the defenseman Crossman. He cleared it in. Going back there is Lysiak into the corner. Coffey tried to move it out. The Oilers get it to center ice and Fox lost it. He'll pick it up again though. He was being checked by Charlie Huddy. Now Lysiak got it with him. Lysiak, the veteran, going into the corner, played it back. And 3 Oilers come out of that Chicago zone. Tipped into Gretzky. Gretzky went after it, put on the brakes. The Oilers have control inside the Chicago line. Near the blue line. Here comes Coffey. Great play. And a great stop by Esposito.
Well, a great move by Coffey. That could have been very easy, the first goal. Espo playing very well.
Here comes Huddy again from Gretzky. Got it in front of the net. Covering up is Bob Murray. He finds a little bit of room. Hitting center ice. This is Savard again. Larmer! Great save by Moog on that bit. Murray couldn't keep it in. They're offside. And it's called. From Chicago Stadium, this is Stanley Cup 83 on CBC.
Why, you should get your next tune-up at Canadian Tire.
You know, a tune-up is only as good as the guy who does it. Sure, equipment, even computers are important, but you want a guy who knows what he's doing. A certified mechanic who'll tend to all those little details. You want a guy who's proud of what he's doing, so he'll make sure the job's done right. You know, I'm a guy like that. Hey! Oh, and so are all these other guys.
There's a lot more to Canadian Tire than tires.
There's a look at Paul Coffey, who just made that super move, Bob, at the blue line, walked in one-on-one with Esposito. And Tony, with that floppy-style goaltending, got the goal pad on it again.
Gardner, number 14, out of the face-off. Coming in as Patterson, Marsh, the other man out there. Cote for Edmonton with Hughes and Hunter. And it's cleared in right away. Feimster on the boards. He couldn't make a shot on the net. Into the corner, Marsh trying to dig it out. Helping is Gardner. The Hawks look very aggressive in the early going of this hockey game. There is no score. They played 4-44.
Well, they're doing much more bumping than they did in games 1 and 2, Bob, but I don't know if you can run at the Edmonton Oilers and really upset their game. As you look at young Ray Cote, who did not expect to be here and is glad he is. Playing very well. It's one of the changes we'll see tonight, that Cote probably will not be against Dennis Savard, as Tessier having that home ice advantage with the last change. He expects Savard's line to be out against possibly Gretzky, but most of the time against Lindsman, and that's what we're seeing right now. Cote did a fine job against Savard in games 1 and 2.
They drop it in. Savard hooked it to the board, but it's cleared by Fogle into center. Lindstrom didn't see it. Lowe went back, and the play is called offside at the Edmonton blue line.
Kind of interesting as you look at Dennis Savard, Bob, to see what other matchups we do get out here tonight. Lisbon line, it looks like, will be against Savard, and that is at the choosing of Orville Tessier. Lysiak played against Gretzky in Edmonton. We'll probably see that matchup again tonight. Sutter, Lysiak, and Preston against Anderson, Gretzky, and Curry. But once again, Tessier does have that extra change, or the last change, here at the Chicago Stadium.
Gardner got the draw, and Fox from center shoots it in as he hits the blue line. Gregg around the net for Edmonton. Playing it off the glass to center ice. Gardner missed it. Here come the Edmonton Oilers. Cote gets a pass and a shot. That hit Fox, went behind the net. Semenko got it back. Gregg screen shot off Fox, and that's to the boards again. Now the Hawks clear it out. Here comes Gardner, poked away by Gregg. Again, Lumley. Center ice, he was stopped. The Blackhawks crossed and fired it down the ice. It could be icing as Semenko goes back. It is. They call it icing against Chicago. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Chicago Stadium.
This 83 Ford pickup is demonstrating the pulling power of Ford's new 6.9-liter diesel engine. It's towing 10,000 pounds up a rugged trail with grades steeper than Pikes Peak. Ford's new 6.9-liter diesel is now available for Ford heavy-duty pickups and 4x4s. It's the most powerful diesel available in a pickup. 26 horses more powerful than its nearest competitor. Ford Tough. Ford Trucks.
Just underway, and it goes immediately behind the Chicago net. Wilson with Lysiak handing it back to him. Up the line is Murray to center. He tried to hit Sutter with the pass. It was too high and hard. Now Sutter is in for it. Played it in front of the net. A backhand drive and stopped. And Gretzky is right back. Going in with a shot. That's grabbed by Esposito and cleared away, but right to Gretzky. Gretzky flying inside that blue line for the Edmonton Oilers. Sutter stopped at center. Again, Gretzky going in. He might be offside. The Hawks get a chance to clear it. We've got a penalty coming up on that last play.
Going to be Gretzky, I believe, of Edmonton for a little chop at Bobby Murray after the play. And they go crazy at the stadium.
This is Hockey Night in Canada from Chicago Stadium.
Good-looking dog.
I've really been working on this guy. I think he's got the potential to be a real good bird dog.
Looks real fast just lying there.
Come on, fetch, boy.
That's fast, Phil.
Keep on getting together. You keep on having your fun.
Hey, I said he had potential.
Why don't you train the cat? Phil, that dog's dead.
You keep on drinking your ex, 'cause keeps on tasting great.
Well, excuse me, Bob, number 99, Gretzky, with a little extra slash on Bobby Murray. Let's see it right there. Murray taking the body, and there's the slash by Gretzky. And Andy Van Hellemond there to make the call, the first Hawk power play.
Well, it's Wilson going in. Flip one, and Moog will cool it a bit and hang on to it. They're nearing the 7-minute mark of this opening period. If somebody wanted to score early, obviously they have not been able to do it.
Well, the Hawks have basically carried the play, although the Oilers have had some good scoring chances. Tony O is doing his thing back in the Blackhawk net. Dougie Wilson, the hard-shooting Chicago defenseman, poised back in behind that face-off circle to get that puck from Savard. Boy, he can shoot him with the best of them.
Comes right back to the line. Wilson hands it off to Crossman. Savard is on there. Wilson again. He'll give it to Savard. Look out. Wilson gets his chance. He won't shoot it. Savard will. And he ripped it wide. Larmer over there with Secord. Up. Edmonton quickly shooting it down the ice. A minute and a half left in the penalty to Wayne Gretzky. Here come the Hawks. No score. They don't get very far.
The Oilers, Bob, with 10 shorthanded goals, a record for playoff action so far this year.
Savard gets the pass at center. In with Secord. Savard. Lovely play by Savard. In back of the net. He's a wizard. Look at him. Savard. Back of the net again. Savard in front now waiting for it. Here it is. Oh, what a save
tough block by Fogel, and everybody jammed up the front of the net, and Lee Fogel on a big block back at the defense.
Now the Hawks on this power play. 45 seconds left on it. Wilson shooting it in. Gregg is back. He left it in the other corner, and the Oilers cleared it anyway. Jackson and Gregg, the two defensemen. Lysiak lining up with Sutter. Wilson will lug it up. Sutter comes to the side. The pass to the other wing to Preston. Hit back to the net. Preston in front of Sutter. Scramble for it. Lysiak went after it. Edmonton frantically trying to cover up now. They're short-handed. 15 seconds left in the penalty. Comes right back near the line. It was tipped to the line, but not out. Wilson from the blue line. Lysiak. Lysiak gets set to the side of the net and moves. Hangs on to it. A good play by Lumley to hook it back to him. With a score, Edmonton nothing and Chicago nothing. This is Stanley Cup 83.
Seiko, setting new standards in technology with road sport. Seiko's new racer angle dial tracks lap time, average speed. With Sports Timer, Seiko's new action watch counts down, sounds off, counts up. Seiko, setting new standards in elegance. Water resistant for him. Instant classics for her. Seiko, setting the standard for the world, for the future.
Well, there's the young man they call in Chicago the Magician, and he just did some of his fine work, Bob, out there in the power play. As Savard completely controlling the puck. Look at the little move between the feet, around behind the net, came all the way back out in front by himself. Boy, when he goes, he can really control a hockey game. Great action on that Hawk power play.
And then he got in position, Mickey, and was in a great spot for the first goal of the game. But Moog was there covering. No score. Coming up to the 9-minute mark of the opening period. Chicago trying to get back into the series against the high-flying Edmonton Oilers. Gretzky, Curry, and Anderson are on there now. Gardner, Patterson, and Marsh will try to hold them. And I don't know if they can do it because Curry breaks it up and goes down with Gretzky. Shoots one, and that was blocked by Crossman. Gardner flipped it out to center, tipped in by Peter Marsh. Andy Moog got to the net quickly. Here's Anderson winding up. Curry has the pass. Curry flipped it in the zone. This trio can really fly. Gretzky, Curry, and Anderson. But the Hawks bring it out. Going in. That's Marsh handing it off. It's cleared back by Lysiak into the center ice area. Brown coming back with a long shot into the corner boards. You notice, Mickey, how lively the boards are here in Chicago. Cutting up those big rebounds. The goalies have to watch them. That puck flies out like a bullet when it goes in. Lowe couldn't keep it in. Sutter, good work. Lowe will try it again for Curry. Edmonton trying to make changes now. They dump it in. That's Messier. He got it in front of the net. Vogel in at the blue line. Lost it. Three Blackhawks come to center. Larmer going in with Secord. Larmer helped by Feenstra. Into the corner is Messier for the Oilers, and he'll waste no time in clearing it down the ice.
Well, the big difference, of course, Bob, other than having home ice advantage and having 20,000 people behind you here, as this rink is 12 feet shorter, it's only 188 feet long. Most NHL arenas are 200 feet, and you have a much smaller center ice area, so the Hawks can stand up on defense, force the Oilers to dump the puck in. We see Chicago do a lot of that. They're just getting center ice, throwing it in, and two men just barreling in on top of the Oilers. They're getting some good scoring chances because of it.
9:49 left in the opening period. Edmonton leading in the series 2-0. The Hawks trying to get back into it. Going with Tony Esposito tonight. Tony O from Sault Ste. Marie. And Mickey, he is playing in his 99th playoff game.
Well, he's some competitor. Tony O, as they call him, as you said, Bob, back a few years ago, 15 shutouts in one season.
Some line juggling going on again, and Chicago, Steve Leonard Ludzik at center with Fraser and Higgins on the wings. Ray Cote, number 14, is at center ice for Edmonton with Hunter and Hughes. Quick shot right on the net. Hogue had to stop that bullet. Now back for Hughes. Huddy in with him. Huddy was knocked down. Now that was Jackson knocked down as he tried to go in. There goes Jackson after a man over there. And he gave Higgins a bump on the boards. Now it's getting a little bit rough. Here comes Semenko on the ice for Edmonton. Big number 27. Higgins gets it up to center. Fraser missed the pass from Ludzik. Vogt covers up. Near the line. Lovely gets it up to Ralston. Semenko was with him. Ralston going in. He banged on it. Just did get a piece of it. That's about all. Now Coffey. That's deflected, and you know what happened? It came right to Esposito.
Boy, Tommy Ralston cruising in front of the net in the slot area, redirected that shot from the left point. And it was right in the middle of the net. Esposito coming across, caught it right underneath the left arm. Or that one would have been goal number 1. Watch Ralston come into your screen right there. You see him in the slot, no Hawk defenseman, and Tony looks behind him. Where is it? It's underneath the arm. Thank goodness.
Still no score. They played 10 minutes and 58 seconds of the opening period. And a big noisy crowd here in the Chicago Stadium. Rather cool today in the Chicago area. And did it rain? It poured.
You should have saw the lineup in front of this stadium looking for those 1,000 standing room seats that go on sale for every game. Standing in the rain.
Another deflected shot. Missed the net this time as Coffey let her go. Coffey moving up again at the blue line. Tipped it into the corner. Crossed it for Chicago for Secord. Coming out with Savard and Larmer. There he goes again. That's Savard trying to get him behind the net, but he was stopped by Huddy. Fox keeping it in to Larmer. Tipping it in to Savard. He can't make a play. It comes all the way back to the center ice area. Secord again feeding it in, but Larmer's away offside. Hockey Night in Canada will continue in a moment.
Why don't you just buy her some perfume?
No, that's not good enough.
Well, you know what you could do? You could get her one of those little purses that sits on the hip and has the,
yeah, I've seen it.
Hey, wait a second. What about one of those big purses? You keep on getting together. You keep on having your fun.
Why don't you get her a dishwasher?
She's already got one.
Let's think a little loud. Keep on drinking your ex-cause. Keeps on tasting great.
There you see your two different coaches. Glenn Sather, the quiet one behind that Oiler bench on the right, and Orville Tessier, a very vocal style coach in back of the Hawk bench. And there's been a lot of conversation about the things that Orville Tessier has had to say. Bob, at one point he said he was going to go to the Mayo Clinic for 18 heart transplants for his players. That's tough language.
Edmonton Oilers organizing as Gretzky, Anderson, and Curry to center as Gretzky. Coming in, the shot offside called at the Chicago blue line. Lysiak with Preston and Sutter trying to contain this man, Wayne Gretzky.
He's doing his thing as usual out there. One thing about the Edmonton Oilers, if they think that by stopping Gretzky they'll stop the Oilers, they're anything but right, as the Oilers have got all kinds of firepower spread throughout this hockey club, but certainly Gretzky the leader with that group.
He has a 6-game point streak. If that's anything new in this playoff. Setting all kinds of records. 99 for Edmonton. Lysiak now will stall out in the center ice area until his mates come back outside the blue line. That's Doug Wilson, 24, getting ahead. Preston coming in. Preston with Lysiak and a weak shot. Moves, no problem. And Gretzky waits for the pass as he goes to the left side, and Anderson brings it in. There's the drop pass to Gretzky. Going in. He fanned on it. At the open side and missed it. The Blackhawks, 3 of them to center as they near the 13-minute mark of the opening period. There is no score in this hockey game. They prevented icing by that great hustle of Sutter.
Well, that's the Hawks have not been doing in the first 2 games of this series, was jumping in there. They've seemed to have their skating legs tonight here. You look at the captain of the Chicago Blackhawks, Darryl Sutter, beating Glenn Anderson, who's got all kinds of speed out there to avert that icing call. There they are. Sutter just missing that goal post. Boy, that's dangerous. And Anderson, as we've seen throughout the playoffs, can absolutely fly out there.
So from the draw right away, it came to Higgins, and his shot deflected high. They'll do it again in that same spot.
Well, that's the second time Bob Higgins has gotten that puck directly off the faceoff. Might have been a good choice there for a good, quick wrist shot. As he wound up for the slap shot, gave the Oilers time to get in and get that stick in the road and deflected right up into the press box.
Ludzik, Higgins, and Fraser are out there against Cote, Hunter, and Hughes for Edmonton. There is no score. Nearing the 13-minute mark of the opening period, it'll dribble over the line. Beamster was slow moving over. Brown gets it up to center, and here comes Higgins again, picking his way and knocked down. And the Oilers clear it out. Beamster backing up against Cote. Coming back, 3 Hawks break in. Ludzik played it off to the left side, right to the Oilers, though, and it was cleared easily to center ice. Hunter ran into Beamster. There's a penalty coming up on that last play, and it's against Hunter, I believe. Live from Chicago Stadium, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
You want to break a world record. You need coaches, training, competition. So we're funding SO Swim Canada, supporting swim clubs, encouraging skills. Now good swimmers can get better, maybe the world's best. Canada. Coming through for you makes us better too.
You make us better, you do. SO.
Well, not much question about this penalty call to Dave Hunter, as he really barreled in there to give Beamster the elbow right there by the penalty box. He doesn't have far to go to sit it out for a couple of minutes. Unless, of course, the Hawks can score, and out there is the magician again, Savard.
That is only the second penalty of the hockey game. Gretzky had the other one earlier, 6:21. He went off for slashing. No damage done in this game yet, scoring-wise. It's scoreless. And now the Hawks on this power play. Savard going in. Secord and Larmer with him. Edmonton always dangerous. Playing shorthanded, coming in, a weak shot. Flipped in wide. Messier didn't get much on it at all. Now Secord waits along the board. The pass does not come to him yet. Crossman brings it out. It goes the other way to Savard, and he lost it, got it back again. Into Larmer with Savard going in behind everybody. Secord did not pay the pass. Shot by Wilson. Bullet shot, but missed. Up the line, shooting. That's stopped by Andy Moog, and he hangs on to it.
Boy, the Oilers a little dangerous clearing out there. They had a chance to get that puck out of their own zone. They just dumped it out towards the line, and Crossman came in quickly to hold it in. Got an excellent scoring chance. The Oilers guilty of some bad passing in their own zone here while they're short-handed. There, he's a good look at it, as Andy Moog might see it. He had a good clear look at the shot from Crossman, was able to keep it out.
1 minute and 20 seconds left in the penalty. That's 200 of Edmonton. And they're always anxious on these faceoffs. They are so very, very important, especially when you have the extra man on there. You want to get the draw, Chicago does, and control the play inside that blue line and set it up for a shot. Wilson, number 24, moves to the right on the rim of the circle. You can see him there waiting for it. He had to kick it back to Murray. His shot was blocked by Gregg. And the Oilers doing a good job. They cleared it down the ice. And you notice Mickey Gretzky up there cruising outside the blue line.
Oh, they never stop. They're just in complete perpetual motion. The Oilers, Gretzky, Messier, Anderson, Curry, when they're killing penalties. That's why they've got all those goals.
Here comes Savard again. Savard gets set, still has it. Whoa, look at him work. Savard has this place on its ear. Oh! It dribbled by Andy Moog. Esposito has to cover up. Savard going off now, and he is marvelous to watch. 5 minutes, 15 seconds left in the period. 35 seconds left on the penalty. Wilson fell on it. Secord is in there quickly. He and Linsman are doing a little shoving.
It's a bit of a mismatch with Linsman and Secord, but the fans here hollering for a penalty call as Wilson was sprawled down on top of the puck. The faceoff was called dead right there, and Linsman and Secord came together. Fists came up as the whistle was blown, and Savard again back on the bench now, but boy, oh boy, does he get these people excited when he's in motion. And there he goes, around and around and around, and he goes between the feet, back and forth, back passes to himself. He's unbelievable when he gets going. Look at that.
He had 3 assists in game 1 at Edmonton. Second on Hawks in playoff scoring with 14 points. Denny Savard. Still on the power play now. Crossman coming in. Sutter in front of the net. There's Sutter. He couldn't tip it. Andy Moog stopped it. Gretzky lost it to Wilson. In front, and Gretzky covered up again. But now Sutter trying to set it up. Another chance. Sutter turning around for Chicago. Great pressure on now. 10 seconds left in this power play. Sutter getting in the slot. Shot! Just wide. Crossman again. Wilson waits. Wilson shoots. That's knocked away from Andy Moog. The penalty is over. Hunter is back on the ice. But the Hawks keep it inside the line. Lysiak lost it against Gretzky. He's on the move, but his pass stopped. Gretzky hammered at center ice by Lysiak. Now Crossman for Chicago coming in. Flipped it in behind the net. Preston went in there. And covering up on the play is Don Jackson. Finally, the referee takes a look. Now the puck comes loose. It comes in front. Comes right back to Fraser. Another shot. Andy Moog, unbelievable. Another 10. They're all over the place. High shot on the glass. This crowd cannot take much more of that. They're going crazy here in the Chicago Stadium. No score.
Well, this all the aftermath of that action in front of the Oiler net, and Andy Moog. Moog was down and out of the net. Hunter is really incensed at Kurt Fraser. There was bodies flying everywhere as Fraser had a good scoring chance. 2 or 3 of the Hawks. And look at this action in front of the net. Fraser with a backhand, it's hitting legs. Ludwig with a shot, hit somebody. Moog made the save. Ludwig again around the other side, goes back to the point. Crossman drills it over top of the net. Boy, oh boy. And they're going nuts here.
Just 3 minutes and 51 seconds left in the period, and Orv Tessier was saying to me this morning, you know, I didn't think we played that badly in Edmonton. We played great first period hockey, but then we had a letdown. And they're playing well in this first period. And I know that Tessier is wondering about the period coming up if we come out of this one and it remains scoreless. You got to go 3 periods with this Edmonton team. You let them loose and they'll kill you. They'll hit you hard and often with goals. No score, and it comes down to Ludwig coming in. Ludwig, a good play. Tied up by Huddy. Didn't get a good shot away. Higgins tried to flip it back in front. He was covered. Now Semenko coming out. Got a pass ahead to Ralston. Didn't work. Lumley couldn't pick it up. Back in for Ludwig again. He centered it. And Huddy tapped it out to center ice. 3:15 left in the period. No score. Fraser, Ludwig. Higgins in front. Moog looks very steady. Covered up on that angle and made a nice leg save. Now back for Lumley. Coming in for Edmonton. He's over the line and waiting for some help. Got it back on the other side. There's Linsman. Fraser went after him. It comes back in front. A great save by Esposito. Lumley nearly had the rebound, but Esposito looks sharp. Both teams changing as Linsman comes in. And it's outside.
Boy, Tony O does it again. The Oilers really have not had many scoring chances in the past 7 or 8 minutes. Of course, the Hawks have been on the power play twice in that time, but Esposito equal to the task when the Oilers do get down on top of them. And they are dangerous. Anytime they're over center ice, they're dangerous. Look at Lumley all alone, and Espo with that right pad just hooked it right off his stick.
We haven't seen any goals, but a lot of action in this period. Now you see Lumley, he nearly had one for Edmonton.
Big Semenko taking a spill from Greg Fox in front of Tony O as he was trying to screen him out of the way.
There is no score with 2:35 left in the opening period. Secord dumped it in. Back there is Lowe with Fogelin. Secord ran into Fogelin on the boards and hit him hard. Cote shoots it in from center ice. Coming back is Larmer, Savard, and Secord moving away. Here's Savard again. Watch him. Look at him. Tried to hook it in front. And barely missed Wilson, who was in behind everybody. Chopped high on the glass. Secord back on Cote covering. No score, 2 minutes left in the first period. Now Secord missed it. Tipped out, and it was called at the line.
Well, it's been quite a first period of hockey. The Oilers doing some things they did not do in the first 2 games, but that's to be expected, being that they're on foreign ground here at the Chicago Stadium. The Hawks have come out hitting, skating, carrying the play, and getting the extra chances here in the first period. Bob, well, I've got a chance. I'd like to say hello to David Evans back in Detroit, a young gentleman tuned in tonight, enjoying Hockey Night in Canada. Hope you're enjoying the action, Dave. Lots of it we've got here in the first period, and more to come in 2 and 3.
Only 1:58 left in the period now. And they're putting on quite a show here in Stanley Cup 83. Edmonton and Chicago. The Oilers scoring 16 goals in the first 2 games. But they've been cooled out here in this first period anyway by the Chicago Blackhawks, you know. And the Hawks have had many opportunities to open the scoring. From center, that's Marsh with Gardner and Patterson for Chicago. Lindsman went in. They were offside at the Chicago blue line. Lindstrom and Messier on with Ken Lindsman.
Here's the young man, Kenny Lindsman. What a job he's done for the Oilers. He has given them added speed up at center ice. Played most of the year between Messier and Anderson, and what a line they were, the threesome. Boy, they're the quickest line in the NHL when they were playing together. Just oozing with speed.
Lindsman 6-5 and 11 and 10 playoff games this year. Mickey, he scored a goal on Sunday, and he had 2 assists on Tuesday.
And I think the best thing about the play of young Lindsman is he's kept himself out of the penalty box. He hasn't taken any foolish penalties. Been an asset to the hockey club on the ice.
That was Jackson shooting it in with 1:35 left in the period. Edmonton trying to get some pressure on Chicago now, but they're unable to keep it in. As the Hawks, Larmer goes in. Savard was ahead of him. The pass wasn't there in time, and it's offside. Denny Savard. And what a show he can put on. And I believe, you know, Mickey, Orp Tessier was saying this morning, if we're going to go anywhere, this young man has got to electrify the Blackhawks. Well, you can't say he has not tried to do that in this first period.
Well, Dennis Savard will be Dave Hodges' intermission guest in our first break. And, you know, I don't think, Bob, that he even has to score a lot of points to make this hockey club go. When he plays like he's playing tonight, he fires up this whole hockey club. Even if he's not scoring points, they get a little inspiration from the way this young man can really handle himself out there, and it carries through the whole hockey club.
That's Hunter in, looking for it for Edmonton. And they come up with it right in front of Hughes. His quick shot is blocked. At the blue line, that's Jackson keeping it in. There is no score with 1:05 left in the period, but Edmonton coming close on that play. Now the Blackhawks in center ice. Larmer was stopped at the blue line. Here comes Secord to give him a hand. They get a whistle. A faceoff will be near the Edmonton blue line with only 55 seconds to play in the period.
Young rookie Steve Larmer, what a season he had for the Hawks. 43 goals, 90 points. And 9 points so far in the playoffs of the Blackhawks. He's one of the better scoring chances again for the Oilers. The Hawks a little lax in their own zone. The puck stolen by Gretzky, got it in front to Patty Hughes. And a good block by the Chicago defense.
So it's Gretzky again with Curry and Anderson with 50 seconds left in the period. Lysiak will try to stop them. Yes, Sutter and Preston with him. 45 seconds left in the period. Oilers organizing this is Huddy coming out with Curry and Gretzky. Huddy's high shot. It was deflected by Bob Murray, and it went away up high.
Right underneath that great big old pipe organ here in the Chicago Stadium.
Mickey, you call that the big old pipe organ. You're right. It happens to be the largest pipe organ in the entire world. Bob Ratz is the organist. They had difficulty finding somebody who could play it, you know. But Mr. Ratz is doing his usual great job again tonight.
Sure makes a racket in this building when he gets going.
Sutter now with 25 seconds left in the period. Preston in there with him. But Coffey clearing it for the Edmonton Oilers.
You know, Bob, you speak about that big pipe organ up back at Tony Esposito. The top of this Chicago Stadium, darn near half the roof is taken up with those big reeds. When he plays that thing, they open up and back and forth. And besides that, they've got fog horns and tugboat horns underneath the clock and police lights that flash and go on and off. When Chicago scores a goal, this place is bedlam when they put that puck in the net. And they're hoping to see lots of that from their Blackhawks here tonight.
So far, we have not seen any scoring in this period, and only 19 seconds to play. Lysiak, great on the face-off. Will he get a chance to do it this time? No, he goes out and Sutter will come in. Sutter could not get the draw. Gretzky hooked it back right away. It's tipped down the ice. Anderson didn't see it. Went by him. Wilson is back, and icing is called against Edmonton. And now, only 11 seconds to play, and they'll bring it all the way down to the other end when they get this sorted out.
A little stiff feelings out there. Anderson again with that great speed. They tried to hit him up the middle. Edmonton loved to lead that man coming straight up the middle and get those breakaway passes. And Anderson with that great speed just took off and was at center ice. It would have been an offside pass anyway, as it was flipped from all the way in the Oilers zone. But Bobby Murray with a little extra hit on Anderson down in the Hawk zone as Dougie Wilson got back to get it for the icing. There you see Anderson just missing it and then taking Wilson in. Bobby Murray comes finishing in and gives Anderson a crack.
And one goal in the series opener, and then exploded for 4 in game 2. Glenn Anderson, 11 seconds. Again, Lysiak thrown out. And the Oilers clearing it out to the center ice area. 6 seconds left in the period. This will do it. It's played off a stick inside the Chicago blue line. And the siren goes to end the first period.
Well, Bob, a pretty exciting first period of hockey. Tessier was worried about his club giving up goals early in games and late in periods. He's got out of period 1 without letting the high-powered Oilers get on the board. I think he's got to be just happy about that. They're still even after 1 period, and his club's at home and hoping to come on even stronger.
And so the score at the end of the first period, the Edmonton Oilers nothing, and the Chicago Blackhawks nothing.
Ford is first to offer buyers triple choice. That means number 1, a choice of 10.9% financing, or 2, an automatic transmission at no extra cost, or 3, a $300 check direct from Ford on Escort and Lynx, or a $500 check on LN7, EXP, Mustang, and Capri. Take your pick of the pack, then choose your buyer's triple choice. See your participating Ford or Mercury dealer for details today. He'll give you quality, value, and choice right down the line.
Talking and caring, friends and you sharing a bucket full of good times the whole day through. It is a finger-licking day. It's a finger-licking good day.
It's the Colonel's famous recipe of 11 herbs and spices that makes Kentucky Fried Chicken taste so finger-licking good.
So come on, it's a finger-licking Kentucky Fried Chicken, a finger-licking good day.
Last month, the boss gave me a new job. Cooper, I want you to choose the office copier. So I looked at every one there was, every single one. How's it coming, Cooper? Finally, I chose a Xerox copier. The price was right, the copies were superb, and the selection was miles ahead. But most importantly, it's got Xerox behind it.
Good choice, Cooper. Now then.
After all, nobody ever went wrong being fussy and stingy.
Somebody hears he's got a problem.
Somebody's worried about his dough.
Somebody hopes it's nothing major.
I know where to go. Need somebody, come to Speedy.
A clamp. A simple clamp. And they didn't even charge me. Speedy took me straight to the problem and not to the cleaners.
Need somebody, Speedy. Come to Speedy, place to go. Need somebody, Speedy. Come to Speedy, place to go. Need somebody.
We don't care a fig for your computer.
It's people that count.
I demand action.
The Counselors on Hanging In Monday.
Yes, sir, I'll hold.
The Hawks had 2 power play chances. They obviously did not score on either one. They outshot the Oilers 16-7, dominating the play like they did not at any time in the 2 games at Edmonton. So as we talked to Denny Savard, who excited this crowd, if this crowd needed any more exciting in the first period, it must be nice to see the 0 beside Edmonton's score. But how frustrating is it to play like you did and not get one yourself, or 2 or 3?
Well, you know, I get a lot of chances, of course, but, you know, I'll get more chances the second and third period, hopefully, and I'm going to try to put them in. I think Andy Muga's kept them in the game so far. He's played well for them, and, you know, like we said, they're a tough team to, you know, to play against because they could score a lot of goals. They're really strong offensively, so we got to make sure we just keep bumping them and make sure we play tight hockey. And, you know, nothing is a good period for us, and hopefully that we can keep playing the same way in the second.
You really lift this crowd. What does it do for your play?
Well, it helps me a lot. I think they're great fans here in Chicago, and they always seems that they get us going. You know, they cheer so loud. They're always you know, behind every players, and they always cheers for us. So, you know, it's a good crowd, and it helps the players out a lot, and especially you know, when we play in this building, you even see sometimes those fans come on the road and they're still loud. So when we're playing this building, it's obviously it's just a great help for us.
A lot of tough things have been said by your coach in the last few days. You've been accused of lacking something in the chest area, and your line, in fact, has been singled out. How do you react to that?
Well, you know, I think he went a little far. You know, he apologized to us this morning about that, criticizing the paper, and I just told him that you know, I'm giving everything I got, and if it's not enough for you, well, you know, I just can't help it. You know, my job is to go out there and do everything give everything I got, and that's what I'm doing. Things are not working for me. You know, I get a lot of chances again in the first period, but they're not going in. So you know, what can I do? I just got to hope that you know, they'll go in next time. I just got to keep working at it, and I'm sure the chances will come along again.
Do you think he means it, or do you think this is his way of trying to get the most out of the team, and there's just no way to sit back and accept 2 defeats without trying to do something?
Well, obviously, you know, he was upset about those 2 defeats, so were the players. You know, especially after 2 losses like this, you know, I'm down enough that I don't think anybody else should get me down deeper. You know, my feelings were hurting because we lost the 2 games, and then I read the paper the next day, and there's Orville Tessier saying that, you know, I've got no heart, and I quit, I'm a quitter, and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't help a player at all. You feel bad about it, and my feelings really hurt. And, you know, I got a lot of pride like everybody else, and, you know, the main thing is just to go out there and keep working for the boys, and, you know, we'll see what's going to happen.
Well, it was fun to watch you try to put it in, and the work continues. From Denny Savard and the Chicago Blackhawks, our thanks to the NHL's 3rd leading regular season scorer. Hockey Night in Canada will continue in just a moment.
As time goes by, Canada's weather can prey on your house and your house paint. The sun fades it, the heat peels it, the cold cracks it, the wetness rots it. Your defense? Canadian Tire paints, now formulated to help stop the effects of Canada's weather. So the next time you paint, remember Canadian Tire's full line of indoor and outdoor paints, because only the strong survive.
Up until now, there's only been the 2 of you.
and you pretty much take care of one another. But now, there's a new person in your lives, a new responsibility. We have the protective instinct, too, about life and security and the future. And that's what life insurance is all about.
Life is a mutual affair.
Talk it over with your Mutual Life of Canada agent.
If you're as proud of your lawn as I am of mine, you want it to look perfect as a golf course. So I mow it like a pro with a Jacobson Super Bagger. It's cut as adjustable to within fractions of an inch, and the command control system is right at your fingertips. My Jacobson gives me the best looking lawn in the neighborhood. And that's not easy. When your next door neighbor is St. Andrews by the Sea, we cut the wood, we mow the lawn, we clear the snow. Nobody does the job around the home or farm like Home Light Jacobson.
In 1976, Reg Leach of the Philadelphia Flyers became the third player to win the Conn Smythe Trophy, although his team did not win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers were after their third straight Cup victory and got off on the right skate by eliminating the Toronto Maple Leafs in the opening round of the playoffs. Leach had led the NHL with 61 goals during regular season play. In the semifinals, the Flyers disposed of the Boston Bruins in the series highlighted by a 5-goals-in-one-game performance by Reg Leach. In the final series, Leach was a marked man as the Flyers defended the Cup against the Montreal Canadiens. While the powerful Montreal team was able to contain the Flyers as a whole, it fell victim to the goal-scoring heroics of Leach, who continued to perform in brilliant fashion. The Flyers were overmatched in the series as the Canadiens began what was to be a string of 4 straight Stanley Cup victories. In 1976, Philadelphia's cup-winning era was ended, and a new one had begun. Yet despite a 4 straight Montreal sweep, there was no quarrel with the selection of Reg Leach, with a playoff record 19 goals, as the 1976 winner of the Conn Smythe Trophy.
Goals in 1 year is in some jeopardy. This season, Mark Messier having scored 14 times already. Coming up next, Don Cherry in the Coach's Corner as we will look at the contrasting styles of the coaches in this series. Orville Tessier and Glenn Sather will return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a moment.
I'll have one to go.
With the works, introducing the special Street Smart Capri. For $500 less, you get everything on it. Sport performance seats, leather-wrapped wheel, tinted glass, two-tone paint, and stripes.
Plus a great flip-up roof.
The Street Smart Capri, priced $500 less.
How street it is.
Capri.
I'll have one.
The special Capri at your Mercury dealers. At this price, hurry, they're going fast.
A great beer tradition comes a great new beer. Introducing Export Light. With a distinctive light taste that's earned the name Export. A great tradition has come to life. Discover the taste of Export Light.
His will pit brother against brother.
Bobby's not too far behind me in this little contest we got going.
I'm going to take you and the oil right out of your hands.
The battle could destroy their family. Dallas, Friday.
Well, Don, to say these two coaches differ in their approach to handling their teams is an obvious understatement. Glenn Sather very often leads the cheers for his Oilers, and Orville Tessier has been compared to a volcano, the way he erupts at the least sign of complacency on his hockey club. Now, I think I know which side you're on, at least having watched you coach, but did you ever come close to anything that Tessier has done in the last few days?
Well, nothing like he's done, but I remember when I was in Boston, Gilly Gilbert, you know, before the game he'd play, the newspaper guys that come to me, I'd say, I don't think Gilbert is a good goalie. All of a sudden, the next game, to show me he's going to be a good goalie, he'd go out and stand on his head. Then I went to Colorado, and we had a goaltender named Hardy Astrom. So I said in the paper, I don't think he's a good goalie. The only problem was he believed me.
Has he gone too far?
Yes, you know, you don't like to criticize coaches. It's so easy to criticize them, but it's the talk of Chicago right now. I see Chicago out there right now. They're tight. And don't tell me guys like Secord and Savard and Lysak. It's a ploy, but I have never seen a coach do that in my life. And he says he's supposed to be with Toe Blake. Toe Blake never did that in public. Now, that's his style, and he's done it all year, and he's won, so maybe he can get it. But I know one thing. I'd hate to be a player and say I have no heart.
Well, if they win tonight, do you credit him for helping the victory, for spurring the Hawks on because of what he said?
No, because these guys are professionals. They're professionals. They'd respond, the crowd and the whole thing. They didn't need that, and Savard said it in the paper today. It was unnecessary, and I really do believe it's unnecessary. Now, you take Sather. He's almost paranoid with his players. He will not criticize them. If anybody criticizes him in the papers, him and Terry Jones have had a feud the whole time. And he's the exact opposite, and somehow or other, I like that better.
Might there not be a time, though, when it becomes necessary, maybe not this season, the way they're playing, when Sather figures, hey, I do have to get on a few of these guys, or maybe the whole team, and does it become difficult for him to do that if the players haven't heard it all season or have never heard it?
I don't think Glenn Sather would ever do that. I don't think his style, what he has is something going with his players. You see him in practice, he fools with them. He's got a good rapport. I don't think he'd ever criticize his players in print. Now, I grabbed a couple and shook them. That's a little different, but never criticized him in print. And, you know, Orville, like I said, he's successful, but I can't see it lasting.
Let's talk about the coaching strategy in this particular building, in this situation. What do you do if you're Sather to try to quiet the crowd? You don't want to slow your team down.
Well, not with his club. I wouldn't try to slow them down. And I can see what they're doing. They're playing a little cozy. They're sitting back waiting for a break now. They're not opening up right now. I see them coming on. And like I say, Chicago, talking to Dennis, he wants a couple of goals to loosen them up. And if I was Sather, just slow it down the way he's doing. Like now, you see him changing lines. The only thing with that is with Chicago, you see Secord looking, am I on? Am I on? Am I on? And you ruin the flow when you do that.
All right, so you think Tessier should forget about that if he was going to concentrate on it at all and try to speed up the game if he can do that?
He's only a couple of games away from death, and you start matching lines like that. Let the flow go, and your team will respond. And you can't do that when you're down 2-0. You've got to get those guys going like that. And it's easy for me to sit here and criticize, and I've been criticized before. But he's in a tough hole right now. I understand in the papers there's going to be a few things tomorrow in the paper about him.
Well, there have been a few things in the past few days by Orville Tessier and some obvious reaction, and it appears the players really haven't vented their frustrations as much as they might. And should this season end abruptly for the Hawks in the next couple of games, we might hear a lot more about Orville Tessier's relationship with his players and the way he has taken to criticizing them after the 2 losses in Edmonton and, in fact, all season long. Second period of play now as the Hawks try to reverse the trend in this series and give the fans something more to cheer about. Here's Bob and Mickey.
Thank you, David. And there's the man who has caused the only excitement so far tonight, Denny Savard, number 18. As far as playing this game of hockey is concerned, Mickey, he was outstanding, but nobody has been able to get a goal in this hockey game. And I think that was, you could guess that before the game, you could feel it, that both teams were going out, and they're going to watch each other very, very carefully. But how can you stop a young man like Savard when he gets going?
Well, you can't hold him down forever, and Edmonton has just been jamming up the front of the net. Savard only got 2 shots on goal. If you look at the total shots for that first period with no scoring, but he could have had 4 or 5, but 3 or 4 of them were blocked in front of the net as the Edmonton players just jammed the front of the net. And a lot of the Hawks shots, even though they had 16, did not get through to Andy Moog. But the young man had everybody excited here in the building, and when he carries the puck like that, sooner or later, you've got to stop him, you've got to stop him, you've got to pull him down. And you're going to take penalties against him, or he's going to get in and get some excellent scoring chances.
Rookie coach Orville Tessier, you saw there a moment ago, the Blackhawks. Well, Mickey is appearing in his first conference championship semifinal series. Tessier, 49-year-old, native of Cornwall, Ontario. Played 59 regular season NHL contests with the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens, but never appeared in a Stanley Cup playoff game. Tessier's Cornwall Royals, of course, captured the Memorial Cup championship back in '72, and he guided the New Brunswick Hawks to the Calder Cup championship last season, and having a great year here in Chicago in the big league.
Well, he'd like to see a little more of the Stanley Cup playoffs than he's seen so far this season. On the other hand, Glenn Sather has had 6 playoff appearances. Played 9 years in the NHL, Boston, Pittsburgh, the Rangers, St. Louis, and Montreal. So he's familiar to playoff action, both as a coach and a player.
So then, we're ready for the second period in a scoreless hockey game. And the crowd starting the chants again. Glenn Sather starting Fogelman, Lowe, Messier, Linsman, and Lindstrom. Chicago with Lysiak, Preston, and Sutter on their right end. Right off the bat, that's Lysiak forcing the referee to call the play as they hold it on the boards. He and Huddy are going to face off to the right of Andy Moog.
There's a man who made all kinds of things happen in those first 2 games and has been doing it throughout the playoffs. Paul Coffey with great speed back in that Oiler defense. A couple of strides out of him, and he leaves a lot of forward standing still. And when you've got your defense rushing with the puck and handling it as well as Coffey and his defenseman teammates do, boy, what an advantage for the forwards.
Gretzky, Curry, and Anderson now for Edmonton. That's Huddy getting it up. There's Gretzky going after Wilson for Chicago. Wilson's long pass to Preston. Lysiak on the move to Preston again. High shot off the glove of Moog. And on the glass, Huddy, number 22 for Edmonton. Coffey lost it in front. There's Wilson to Murray. Murray shot. Rebound. And Anderson is away with Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky coming in. A dandy pass for Anderson. Took a shot. Rifled it wide. Coffey from this side to Gretzky. In front it goes. Here's Prairie. And he was stopped by Esposito. Curry back to the line. Oilers pressure. Another shot grab. Knocked down loose. Preston bringing it up. Coming to center. Backhands it in. The Hawks are changing now. Coffey. Rink wide pass behind Curry. Gretzky waited for it. Crossman to center. He has to feed it back. And Larmer inside the blue line. Trapped there. Now Savard and Larmer going in. There's Savard letting it go. And that hit Coffey. Hurt him. Another shot. Rebound is there to the side of the net. Seacourt got it back. Hawks with pressure on again. Seacourt flipped it behind the net. High shot goes all the way down the ice. The Oilers had to do that to relieve the pressure. From Chicago Stadium, this is Stanley Cup 83 on CBC.
I'm Jackie Stewart with the Blue Poly Special. Special because it's protected with Blue Poly, the one-step polysealant that cleans, shines, and seals. Think salt spray is tough? How about rock salt and alkali? Acid rain? How about battery acid? Hot sun? How about a blazing inferno? Look, nothing penetrated. Blue Poly seals in the shine, seals out the elements.
Blue Poly, available in liquid, paste, and new instant spray.
They're set to go to the right of Andy Moog. Edmonton trying to clear it out, can't do it. Hawks applying some stiff pressure here now in the second minute of play of the second period. And it's a scoreless game. Higgins, Ludzik, and Frazier for Chicago. That's Ludzik. He was stopped. Cote, Hughes, and Hunter. Here's Higgins going in. Close call. Hawks exerting tremendous pressure in the opening minutes of this second period. Coming back, it's Keith Brown. Higgins back of the net to Brown. On the move, the defenseman from Corner Brook, Newfoundland, shooting it in. It's in back of the net, and Moog clearing it again. Jackson. Back to Gregg. Long pass to center. Messier gets going. Coming in with Lindsman. Dropped it in front. Esposito down. And he made a big save. Tony Esposito. No score in the second period. And here's Lowe. Dropping it in. Stopped by Savard. Racing back with Larmer. Savard drives. Hip high into the crowd behind the Edmonton goal.
Well, a great scoring chance for the Oilers. Kenny Lindsman picking up a loose puck as Messier did some good stick handling and puck control along that right side. He cut into the middle. Esposito's made a couple of good stops here the first 3 minutes of this second period. There's Messier with a little flip pass into the slot area. Big Lindstrom with the shot. Esposito the save. And there is Lindsman for the rebound. Just missed that far side.
Crossman and Fox are the two Chicago defensemen. Gardner, Marsh, and Patterson up front. Edmonton with Hunter, Cote, and Hughes. They start to move with Fogelin and Lowe. It's cleared in. Crossman grabs it for Chicago. His pass to the line, hitting Gardner. Gardner going in with Marsh. He flipped it high, and that'll go into the crowd. Another souvenir here in Chicago.
Boy, Lee Fogelin shaken up on that play. A few moments ago, Coffey was hit in the foot with a shot by Bobby Murray, and that time Fogelin took that one right off the ankle. And he is lifting that foot up and down, trying to get some feeling back into it. Oh, those sting. Fogelin likes to block shots. It's one of the dangers of being a shot-blocking defenseman. Marsh with the shot, and look at that, right off the left foot ankle of Fogelin. And all you feel is the pool of, like a pool of blood down there when you get one off the ankle. That instep, it just goes numb on you.
Ralston, Semenko, and Lumley for Edmonton. Hawks keep it in. That's Marsh over there in the corner. He has Gardner and Patterson up there with him. Marsh digging it out. Backhand shot, a low one. It was weak and missed the net. Semenko flipped it to center ice. Crossman turning around in his own zone, coming out with Patterson getting the pass, then losing it. They're back to the Chicago zone. Crossman. Fox shooting it in right on the net. Fired off the boards to center ice again. We're nearing the 4-minute mark of the second period. We have no score in this third game. This series a best of 7, and the Oilers up by 2 games. Winning both at home. Semenko rattled one off the shin of Gardner, and it's called. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Chicago Stadium.
Out of a great beer tradition comes a great new beer. Introducing Export Light, with a distinctive light taste. A great tradition has come to light. Discover the taste of Export Light.
Edmonton Oilers have opened the scoring here in the second period with a bullet shot from the blue line. Huddy walked in and let her rip.
Well, Gretzky started this one out again, Bob, and Huddy with his first playoff goal just walked into the slot. It was already teed up for him, and Esposito got a piece of it with the left pad, a good low shot, and the Oilers have opened it 1-0.
4:18 was the time of the goal by Huddy. 1-0 Edmonton. And there, the goal scorer, Huddy, for Anderson, going in with Curry and Gretzky. Anderson dropped it back in front of the Hawks now. Down a goal. Have to get it going. Up the center is Bob Murray. Going in for his drive. And Moog got a piece of it. Dribbled behind him. And he grabbed it.
Assisted by number 99, Wayne Gretzky. And number 7, Paul Coffey at 4:18. Edmonton goal scored by Huddy.
You heard it, no doubt. Here at the Chicago Stadium, the PA announcer. There's that great save by Moog. Huddy from Gretzky and Coffey at 4:18. 1-0, Edmonton.
Well, this is a critical time right now, Bob. Anytime in games 1 and 2, the Oilers have really started a steamroll, and this is one point that Tessier was trying to get through to his players, not to get down. If we do get down to the Oilers. And we'll have to see how the Hawks rebound now after falling behind by a goal. See if they can come right back.
Long shot from the line by Feimster, ends up in the mesh. And they'll do it again, this face-off in the Edmonton zone. There's the goal scorer, Charlie Huddy.
What a great year he had for the Oilers, scoring 20 goals as a defenseman throughout the season. As I mentioned, that's his first playoff goal. But that was a result, basically, of Wayne Gretzky carrying the puck, and as often happens, Gretzky gets everybody backing in towards the net, and then he either cuts back to the middle himself or dumps it back into the slot, as he did there to Huddy, and the puck teed up for him. Huddy just came in and was sharp shooting for him.
Cote, Hunter, and Hughes against Ludzik, Higgins, and Fraser. And this is Cote. Off the boards to center. Edmonton leading 1-0. And the Oilers are offside on this play as Cote brought it in. As winger Hughes is trapped offside. 5 minutes and 8 seconds gone in the second period, and the Oilers have taken a 1-0 lead. Drop back to center ice from the draw. Chicago hopping on it quickly. They flip it in. Brown coming in for it. Brown tossed it in front of the net. Edmonton covering up now, and Gregg slapped the pass to the line. Hunter got it up to center ice. And again, the Blackhawks were back, and once more, Edmonton offside as Jackson brought it in.
Well, Donnie Jackson also having a great playoff for the Oilers. Well, we mentioned the Oiler defensemen, especially Huddy and Coffey with that great speed out there. Jackson and Randy Gregg are not the fastest guys in the world, but boy, even those two have been leading rushes up the ice, getting the legs in motion and doing a great job. And it just makes it so much easier for those forwards. They can take up their positions on the boards and let those defensemen start the plays out. It really makes it easy.
Kenny Linsman with Messier and Lindstrom for Edmonton. Lowe and Fogelin, the two defensemen, as the Hawks start out of the zone. Greg Fox up to the line. Fox lost control of it. Fogelin dumping it back to center. Played in by Crossman. Covering up as Fogelin. He'll hang on to it now. No further play. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Chicago Stadium.
Seiko LaSalle. Marvels of thinness. So perfected, so refined. They reach the realm of art. Seiko LaSalle. Thin, rich, beautiful. Only the highest quartz technology could create such extraordinary design, achieve such flawless performance. Seiko LaSalle. No wonder people trust Seiko more than any other watch.
1-0. Edmonton leading. A goal by Huddy at 4:18 here in the second period. From Gretzky and Coffey. And the Oilers move it out again. That's Hughes going in. He was stopped. Bumped down the boards over there by Greg Fox. Lowe kept it in. Now the Hawks, Fraser, Higgins, and Ludzik. This is Ludzik back to Higgins. Bullet shot, missed the net. Crossman keeping it in. The Hawks applying more pressure now, but Hunter will bring it out. Nice play for Lee Fogelin. Fogelin going in with Hughes. Spun around. Falls to the ice. Quick shot is blocked in front by Crossman, and he just stays there, hangs onto it. And there's no further play. They'll get a face-off in the Chicago zone. There's Linsman in the middle of things. He usually is.
Well, you can see the Oilers starting to take control a little bit here in the second period. The Hawks are sort of falling back and watching the Oilers again. If they do that and continue to do it, they will be in deep trouble. As we've seen in the first two games, the Oilers will just absolutely blow you away if you stand back and watch them play and skate. They can do it so darn well. But the Hawks have got to stay on top of them as they did in that first period. Hope to get a few breaks of their own. Get back into the game and tie this thing up.
That assist by Gretzky on the Charlie Huddy goal means that Gretzky has now gone 7 games in a row in the playoffs with a point or more. Messier will come in. Linsman is out. Savard, Larmer, And Secord for Chicago. Wilson and Murray, the two defensemen for the Blackhawks, as they near the 7-minute mark of the second period. 1-0 Edmonton in this game 3. Wayne Bonney, the linesman, moving them back. Secord apparently was inside that big circle. Now they drop it in. The Hawks go after it. That's Murray with it. Murray back in the net. Starting up for Chicago. They skate to center. Murray decides to shoot it in right on the net. Secord went after it. There's Savard again. This Secord out to the line of Murray. The other side to Wilson. A shot by Wilson, a low one, didn't miss by much. And the Oilers dump it out. Messier got a stick on it. Wilson chased by Linsman. Linsman comes up with the puck, cutting in front of the net, broken up by Wilson. Out with Larmer. Wilson shot, and that's stopped by Moog. 7.5 minutes gone in the second period. It's a 1-0 hockey game here in Game 3. The Edmonton Oilers leading. But the Hawks have had great scoring chances. They've been shut out so far. Coffey waits for it. It goes the other way and stopped by Lysiak. Lysiak couldn't go in as Gregg took him out of the play. Randy Gregg to Anderson. Gretzky up near center. There's a high pass, and Curry is after it. On with the brakes is Curry. To Gregg, back in front. And the shot was deflected away. There's a penalty coming up against the Chicago Blackhawks. Wayne Gretzky was dumped back in the net. With a score, Edmonton 1, Chicago 0. This is Stanley Cup 83.
Honey, wake up. We've got to get to work.
I'm making coffee.
Oh, you're not making coffee. You're sleeping.
I'm making coffee.
You're sleeping.
I'm making honey.
What Fred doesn't know is that Janet bought the incredible Brew Starter by CGE. Brew Starter, the coffee maker that starts brewing a pot of wonderfully fresh coffee automatically before you get up. Also available with a digital clock.
We bring good things to life.
Now, Darryl Sutter off for interference. There you see it, as Sutter did a pretty good job on Gretzky. Look at this in the middle of your screen right there. He ran him into the goalpost, knocked him down behind the net. Andy Van Hellemond making the call, interference, and the Oilers go on their first power play.
The Oilers have scored 11 power play goals in 47 attempts for 23.4%. Let's see what happens on this one. Oilers, Gretzky in front. Great save by Esposito. He robbed Curry. Gretzky now. Low shot. Missed the far corner. Coffey. Gretzky waits. Gretzky flipped it behind the net. It comes out to Huddy. Huddy fired it in by Coffey to Gretzky. Gretzky back to the line. Huddy hands it off. Gretzky goes back against Fox. They hold it on the boards. It comes in front. Esposito, a big save. As Charlie Huddy had another bit. He has scored the goal.
All kinds of firepower out there for the Oilers.
Coffey now along the boards, and he's bumped by Fox. Minute 10 left in this power play, and Gretzky has the puck at the blue line. Watch him working around. A pass to Coffey. His backhander didn't get very far. Gretzky has it again. Gretzky back in the net with it. Oilers, Curry getting it back to Huddy. To Curry. Great puck control by Edmonton. Huddy's shot knocked down and away from the net. Gretzky again tied up. Curry getting it back. Coffey. Shot. Rebound. Esposito. Well, that's what you call playoff experience.
Well, that is the save of the game right there. The Oilers with tremendous control on this power play, moving it around the outside. The original save by Esposito. There is Glenn Anderson, and look at that. He did get it up, but not high enough. Antonio right there with that big trapper snapped it out of midair as it was headed for the top corner. Boy, oh boy, these guys are just awesome on a power play. This is another one moments before that. How Curry did not get that one through, I'll never know. Esposito just getting across to make the save. 38 seconds left in the penalty to Sutter.
Edmonton on this power play is Coffey. Lost it. Lysiak Coffey chasing him. Lysiak. And he was knocked down. Good play by the Edmonton defenseman who hustled back with him. The fans here in Chicago didn't think so. Coffey now back in. Tipped it in front. That's Messier with it. Messier gets set. Played it to the side of the net. And Esposito again hangs on to it.
Well, things are getting a bit rough down there. Bobby Murray, Kenny Linsman. Messier taking a real beating in front of that net as he went in for that loose puck. And Esposito just smothering it to get the face-off. Now only 11 seconds left. The crowd here screaming for a penalty against the Oilers as Lysiak broke down. Here you see Lindstrom coming out in front. Tony down to make the save. And look at Messier. Takes a shot from Lysiak, and Murray gives it to Linsman. And here's the play that the fans were hollering about. Paul Coffey with that great speed again, able to get back and semi-haul down Tommy Lysiak with Mo kicking it to the side, but no penalty called.
Orv Tessier was telling me this morning that Murray Bannerman in Edmonton just simply did not look comfortable. So he said, tonight I'm going with Esposito. After all, he's got all the experience, 15 years in the league. And Esposito is not letting him down tonight.
I'll tell you what, Bob, I don't know of a goaltender that would have looked very comfortable at all the way the Oilers have been going. It's pretty tough when they turn that speed on and they dominate. They did in the first two games.
Chicago getting the puck down the ice. And now Sutter gets ready to come back on. He's on the ice. The penalty is over. 1-0, Edmonton leading. Anderson fired it through the crease. And Sutter will bring it out. He has Preston with him. Murray catching up. Sutter going in with Preston. And Andy Moog's turn now to hang on to it. Hockey Night in Canada will continue in a moment.
Out of a great beer tradition comes new Export Light. With a distinctive light taste that's earned the name Export. A great tradition has come to light. Discover the taste of Export Light.
.9:53 to play in the second period. The two goaltenders, of course, in any playoff game, so very, very important. Esposito has been just super here in the second period.
You could almost say the young and the old. Andy Moog just 23 years old, and Tony O 40 years of age. A couple of weeks ago, just a week ago, I guess, 23rd of April, turned 40. Tending those nets here in the Chicago Stadium for many, many years in the Hawks. 14th season in Chicago.
Beamster's shot picked out by Moog. The young man from Penticton is playing super hockey himself down there for the Edmonton Oilers. Oilers shoot it in. That's Beamster. Play call over there. And they'll bring it back.
Tempers are beginning to flare a little bit on both sides, Bob.
Beamster, born in Detroit, Michigan, All-American at Colorado College. He's 24. Had a great future with this team and in this league.
You look at that icing call just moments ago. Hunter coming in after the whistle had gone, and therefore the ensuing milling around. But Chicago, very like Edmonton defensively, they have very mobile defensemen, like to carry the puck, led by Dougie Wilson, number 24, with that great shot. And of course, Doug Wilson just a year ago, 39 goals, Norris Trophy winner.
Now Chicago with Savard, Larmer, and Secord. Gretzky, Anderson, and Curry for Edmonton. Coffey flipped it in. Anderson chasing it. Marbury hooked a high one down the ice. Coffey knocked it down. Now Savard is coming in. Savard across the line. Flipped it to the other side. Wilson in with a shot. And look at Andy Moog cutting that angle. In a great spot to pick that one off, and Doug Wilson, can fire bullets.
Well, the Hawks are getting some good chances, Bob, but they're not getting too many people in front of the net. Andy Moog again was able to see that shot cleanly all the way from the point. See how that all started out with Savard holding onto the puck and Wilson just keeping it in. But look, you see he's got a clear path. And I don't know that anybody should score from out 45, 50 feet away. The goaltender does what he's supposed to do, and Andy Moog did it there.
There's Fox. He took a shot, tipped near the net, and wide. Lutzik, Fraser, and Higgins now for Chicago as they try to get back into it. They're trailing 1-0 on the Charlie Huddy goal. Edmonton in again. Backhand shot, a weak one. Missed the net. The Hawks bring it back out. Coming in is Higgins. Good stop by Andy Moog. Crossman into the corner with it. Lutzik is bumped. Puck is loose in the Edmonton zone. Now the Oilers. Long pass ahead. Hughes could not hang on to it. And Crossman takes over for Chicago. To Lutzik. Look out. He was belted at center ice by Jackson. Crossman carries on. Centered it. It was tipped by Hughes. Didn't miss the short side by very much. Now Linseman on the move. Kenny Linseman jamming on the break. Got it back in front of the net. Oh, they score! Jackson following up on the play. 2-0 Edmonton.
Boy, they don't miss too many when they get the chances. Kenny Linseman with some great speed that made this thing all happen. Just beat everybody on the Hawks down to the puck. Again, pulled that little stop and go. Got everybody going backwards and flipped it into the middle in that open area. And look at Jackson now. Break for the net. The pass from Hunter. He just redirected it. And Tony Esposito, no chance on the play. And it's 2-0 Oilers. There's a good shot from behind the net, right between the pads of Tony O.
Number 13, Ken Linseman at 11:52.
11:52. Linseman and Hunter getting assists on that goal by Jackson. Now it's 2-0 Edmonton. And Savard twisting and turning in his own zone. Lost it this time. Lindstrom set it up in front of the net. And the Hawks had to cover quickly. Murray lost his stick. Held it with a skate for a second. Now Savard didn't want to take any chances with a defenseman playing without a stick. He ices the puck.
Well, you could hear somebody down there on the Hawks yell to him. It was Steve Larmer to ice that puck as Murray had lost his stick. And the Hawks were under some pressure again by the Oilers. Big Donnie Jackson, his third playoff goal. And there's that neat little pass from Hunter, Linseman, Hunter, Jackson, and 2-0. The big man looks like a goal scorer on that one.
7 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in the period. And you're right, it was Larmer who cleared it away. Gretzky right from the draw put a shot in on Esposito. And Esposito had to be careful. That puck, Mickey, was going for that far corner just inside the post. Good face-off by Gretzky.
Well, it's building a little quiet right now with the Edmonton Oilers up by a pair. But there is lots of time to play. 7:29 here yet in period number 2.
You think he's not on a streak?
Oh, boy. Amazing. 30 points so far in the playoffs. The record is 35.
Of course, he's been on a streak, on a roll, ever since he came into this league.
Or I was going to say about 4 years ago.
Murray got it in front, but Doug Wilson is there, and he brings it out for Chicago. It's 2-0 Edmonton. Huddy is hustling back. Sutter went in after it. They hold it on the boards. That's Preston trying to knock it loose for Sutter. Sutter came up with it, then lost it. And Curry flipped one down the ice, in wide of the net. Back is Feimster. He played it for Keith Brown on the other side. Brown can't move it out against Gretzky on the first try. On the second attempt, he's forced back. Brown gets it up to Preston. Brown again. Now Anderson for Edmonton. In between the two blue lines, a little scrappy until Feimster moves it in. Feimster along the left side boards, gets it over in front, and here come the Oilers again. Gretzky coming in with Coffey. One man back. Gretzky tried to set it up. And he got a shot away and just missed. Weston for Chicago hit Coffey with it. Curry hangs on to it, rolled it back in his own zone. The Hawks and the Oilers are making changes as Coffey comes out. Hooks a high one in, and he goes to the Edmonton bench. Back there quickly. That's Hunter. And he holds it. They might get a whistle this time. They do. Live from Chicago Stadium, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Look out, Martis! I'm back! Okay, Mr. Stringbean. Handle that. Now, what is this?
Best there is, Moose. Taught him everything I know.
We'll see.
The job's done, Moose.
All right. You did good.
Had me a good teacher. You got any more wagons you want fixed?
That blame Top Guns. I'm gonna get him.
This is Bob Cole with Mickey Redmond at the Chicago Stadium for Game 3 of this series. Edmonton leading the series 2-0, and in this game, 2-0. Larmer with Savard and Secord having some trouble moving it out. Now they get it up to Secord at center. Savard on the right wing. Coming back is John Jackson. And he got it up to the line. Secord in the center ice area. Come back with it. Larmer deep in his own zone. Launched it against Cote. He couldn't center it. Larmer has it. Spun around. Carried on to Secord. And he had to dump it to center ice. Now, Mickey, the Oilers are doing great work forechecking. There's Jackson. Keeps it in again. It's called on the offside.
Well, the Oilers seem to be able to play any way you want to, Bob. They just sit back and do what they have to do. They've got great skating ability, and that's all the game of hockey is when you can skate the way they can make so many things happen. They can take chances, make up for it by having that great skating ability, get back defensively, and cover up for jumping in holes and taking chances offensively, trying to intercept passes and get some easy ones, but they can just do it all, play any way you like.
Well, they're asking the question all over the country. Have the youngsters from Edmonton grown up? Is this their year? Are they going all the way? Well, let's put it this way, Mick. The Oilers have a heck of a start, don't they?
They sure do. They're going to be tough to beat. The way the Islanders are going now, they're playing awfully well. Took that two-game lead, or a game lead, up 2-1. That decision over the Bruins last night, 7-3.
5 minutes to play in the second period. Edmonton leading 2-0. On the goals by Charlie Huddy and Jackson. Chicago now flipping it in front, and from the scramble, there's Fogelin. Hanging on to his man as Lowe goes to center with the puck. Played it in over the line. Grabbed by Lumley. Lumley got it to the side of the net. Ralston gets set. Tried to hit Semenko. He was on the other side of Esposito. Semenko covering his man, and behind the net, Patterson. Gets out to center ice, and Dick Semenko is back. 4:20 to play in this period. 2-0 Edmonton. Now Ralston needs it back. To Fogelin to Lowe. They control it beautifully. Semenko's pass stopped up the Chicago line. Patterson and Gardner go in, and they run into each other. That's the toughest check of the game. Ralston's high shot. Stopped by Esposito. Got to see that hard check again.
Well, the Hawks are certainly frustrated at this point. They can't seem to get anything in close on Andy Moe. The Oilers are just doing a great job of coming back defensively, covering up. The forwards are back when they have to be. Defense is standing up. And look at this collision. Patterson cuts across into the middle and doesn't see his teammate Gardner coming, and bingo. Tough enough to play against the other color, let alone your own. But they're having a tough time. The Oilers are slowly but surely controlling this hockey game right now in period 2.
Well, they said they had to do more hitting, but not that type hitting. Wrong color, guys. Esposito with that stop. Esposito again. Flipping it to the corner to Murray to Wilson. Esposito has to cover up. Wilson. Wire cut out at Secord through the middle. Savard couldn't set up Larmer. Back for the Oilers. Messier. He dropped it back. That will allow Chicago a move. Coming to center is Murray. A long shot stopped by Moult. Rebound is there. Larmer has it now. Larmer gets set. Everybody in front of the net. It comes near the line. Messier racing in on Murray. Messier gets set for the shot. Off the glove of Esposito. And it's in behind the net. They'll hold it there. And no further play with only 3:13 left in the period.
Well, Linsman and Savard added out in front of Tony Esposito. The Hawks with a little bit of pressure there. Everybody trying to head for the front of the net. Larmer didn't know what to do with it. Finally fired it cleanly across the front, and out came the Oilers on the rebound. There's Mark Messier that took that rebound off the boards, came down one-on-one on Bobby Murray, got a deflected weak shot on Esposito. But Messier, of course, having a great playoff. 3 hat tricks so far these 83 playoffs, and 14 goals overall.
Gretzky got the draw, but very quickly Sutter moved it down the ice. Preston and Lysiak. Gretzky, Anderson, and Curry for Edmonton. Near the blue line, it's into the center ice area again. Time running out of this period for the Hawks to get on the board. Anderson, Gretzky, and Curry moving around. Now Greg Fox for Chicago. To center ice. Lysiak cannot catch up to it. Anderson turning again. Hit Curry. Sutter nearly broke through. Lysiak knocked it down, and Gretzky goes in to watch him. He nearly picked it off. 2:30 left of the period. 2-0 the score. Edmonton in front. Preston coming out. To center. He had it pulled away from him, and offside is Sutter on that play.
It's obvious to see, Bob, the Hawks are playing very tense right now. That the Oilers are just relaxed. They're out there doing their thing. They're freewheeling, and Chicago is as uptight as they've probably ever been all year long. They just can't seem to do anything right, and the Oilers are dominating again. Exactly what they didn't want to happen here on their home ice.
Like Mark Messier was saying today, we were chatting this afternoon. Boy, isn't this fun?
I guess they're having fun.
They're loose. You said it, Mickey. Leading the series by 2 games to 0, and in this third game, 2-0. On the board with 2 minutes, 5 seconds left in the period. They're in again. That's Hunter. He nearly set it up in front for Hughes. Here comes Higgins for Chicago. Tip one in off the arm of Fogelin. Fogelin fired it into the corner for Kevin Lowe, but Higgins has it now. He centers it. Ludwig shot deflected. He waited that second, and then Hunter got his stick down.
Well, again, when you're executing properly, that puck is off your stick the minute it hits your stick. And Ludwig just held it that extra bit of time, allowed the Oilers again to get in and get a piece of it. Now, that's what happens when you're not confident in your play, and that's exactly what the Blackhawks are where they're at right now. See Ludwig try to take a little snapshot, haul it back about 2 feet and let it go. And these are the kind of things that the Hawks did not do all year long. Got them where they are, where they're to now with 104 points, but I think it's the Oilers that have certainly got them unnerved, Bob.
I'm running out of this period. 1:45 to play. And Orv Tessier sends on Savard, Larmer, and Secord. Murray and Wilson, no doubt, with the instructions. For Pete's sake, fellows, we've got to get one before this period is over. Coffey, not taking any chances, gets rid of it. It goes down the ice. With Messier. And Lindstrom on the other wing for Edmonton. Long shot, knocked down by Wilson. And the big defenseman hangs onto it. 1:29 to play in the period.
Well, there's one thing to cure the Hawks' ills right now, and that would be a goal. You hear this place erupt. They've got to get something to give them some motivation. Right now, looks like they're pretty down in the dumps. Dougie Wilson told me this morning at the skate, Bob, he said, we stood around and watched the Oilers play, and it just got worse and worse. We waited for the explosion to come. It eventually came.
It came. Twice. 8 goals both times. The The Blackhawks had 2 in one game, 4 in another. They have yet to score in this one. Edmonton coming in again. Esposito has been pulling off some big stops in this second period. 1:15 left in the period now, with the Blackhawks desperately trying to get a goal. Savard going in, and again Andy Moog stopped that shot. Moog has been great. T-Court to Savard in the other corner. Back to the line and missed Murray and slides down the ice. Offside pass by Murray just across center with 57 seconds to play, but Moog had to be good, Mickey, to stop Savard on that play.
What a move he made. Put his body one way, the stick and the puck the other, slipped it through the defenseman's feet with one hand. Back in front of him, got an excellent scoring chance, and Moog again was there to make the big save. You notice Savard moments after that tried to set up Murray at the point, and when things are going badly for you, that's what happened. Murray anticipated what was going to happen, jumped into the slot. Savard didn't know that. He dumped it back to the point. Nobody there.
Gretzky knocked down. Long shot, Esposito. The skate save penalty coming up. And this will be against Chicago.
Then Anderson knocked down in front of the net. Looks like a holding call. He was hauled down in front of Tony Esposito as Jackson got that good shot from the point. Tony with the save. And 48 seconds here left in the second period. Preston gets the call. And there it is on Anderson, who was trying to freewheel in front of Esposito, and down he went. And Preston goes to the penalty box.
So Preston here at 19-12, as you see, for holding. And you don't want to take a penalty at this point in the hockey game. Your team down 2 goals. Esposito getting set for another onslaught of an Edmonton power play. Only 48 seconds to play in the period. Gretzky, Curry, Anderson, Coffey, and Huddy. They get the draw. Coffey. Slip pass for Curry. For guess who behind the net. He got it in front. Well, the Hawks break it up and clear it out. Patterson turning around, killing a few seconds. Anderson stealing it. Coming back in. Gretzky trailing the play. Now Gretzky boots into the corner, gets it back. Here's Coffey. Huddy. Huddy played it in for Curry. He'll get it back to Coffey. Huddy waits for the pass. It was knocked down by Patterson. He rags it a bit. 12 seconds left. And he cleared it in. 8 seconds remaining in the period. 2-0 Edmonton. Coffey. One more time. Back to Gretzky as the siren goes to end the second period. And the Edmonton Oilers have broken through on Tony Esposito for a couple.
Well, Bob, the game is a long way from over with 20 minutes to play, and the Hawks here in their home ice, but they've got to go in that dressing room and regroup like they haven't been able to do before and try to get some offense going, get on the board, get some momentum, and try to tie this hockey game back up.
And so the score at the end of the second period is Edmonton Oilers 2 and the Chicago Blackhawks 0.
CBC News with Peter Mansbridge.
Among the top stories tonight, May Day celebrations turned violent in Poland. Police used tear gas and water cannon to put down anti-government demonstrations in at least 20 Polish cities. The worst clashes were in Gdansk, where 15,000 people gathered for a march and were scattered by riot police. In Moscow, renewed speculation about the status of Konstantin Chernenko. He was absent from May Day celebrations in Red Square. Many Western diplomats feel Chernenko, the number 2 man in the Soviet Communist Party, is on his way out. U.S. Secretary of State George Shultz experienced the Lebanese Civil War firsthand this morning. A rocket exploded in the grounds of the U.S. Ambassador's house where Shultz was spending the night. And in Newfoundland, a tentative agreement has been reached between the government and the teachers' union. We'll have those stories and others later on the National. Now back to Hockey Night in Canada.
The shutout goaltending of Andy Moog is the story. After 2 periods, he has turned away all 30 shots that the Blackhawks have directed at his net, and the Oilers got 2 goals in that period from rather unlikely sources. Charlie Huddy, his first goal of the playoffs, and Don Jackson, who has scored 3 times. in these playoffs. Edmonton 2 and the Blackhawks nothing. The Oilers 2 goals from defensemen. The other series, the Prince of Wales Conference, stands 2-1 in the Islanders' favor. 7-3 last night for the Isles, with Trottier and Bossy coming alive. Don Whitman filed this report.
As the Wales Conference final moved back to Long Island, the big line of Trottier, Bossy, Keller, and on occasion Clark Gillies began to produce, as Islander fans had hoped they would in the series. Brian, you're held in check for the first 2 games, only 3 points for the line. How much did the return of Clark Gillies mean to your line in Game 3?
Well, Clark is a tremendous asset in forechecking, his physical play, his presence. I think is a real help. He's a type of guy who tends to almost stand up and say, "Hey guys, I'm going. Who's coming with me?" You know, he's got that hunger and that desire in his eyes that a big guy like him tends to have naturally. You know, he's an easygoing guy, but when you look at him, you know he's a dominant force, and it's just great to have him back in the lineup.
Well, because of the long period he has been out, he was unable to take a regular shift, so you're alternating on the wing. But with an 8-point evening, the line is back in form and flying again. Now, what about Game 4 of the series?
Well, I hope it ends the same as long as we have the more goals. But I can anticipate an even more physical hockey game. They were as physical as we were tonight. We let them skate in Game 2 in Boston, and we just can't afford to do that. They've got the defensemen that like to get back up in the play. If we finish off those checks, you know, then that slows their defensemen down, and they can't break out and get more involved in the play. We have to force them much more in our zone. Middleton, Pedersen, all their forwards. I mean, they can all handle a puck. Fergus, Krushelinski, all those guys can handle a puck so well in the corners and make good plays. And their points like to shoot. We got to watch them. You know, there's so many things that this Boston team can do. And as usual, we got to get in front of Peters and bother him. He's got to see a lot of Islander sweaters around him, and we got to get on those rebounds. I can think back to Game 2 in Boston, where we had some tremendous scoring opportunities in the slot in front of the net, where the puck was bouncing, and you know, he made a couple of flip-flops, and he jumped in the right way, and he dove in the right way the next time, and I mean, we got to be on top and sharp on those rebounds and continue to get our shots on the net as well, and you know, make him make a good save.
Can the two teams play as physical for the balance of the series as they have for the first 3?
I'd assume not, but you know, we have to play physical in order to be effective. It's kind of been Islander hockey, a characteristic that go out there, bump, grind, finish off your checks. If we don't win hockey games. We got the guys that can do it, and you look at our lineup. You got Tonelli, Nystrom, Gillies, myself, the Sutters, Bourne. You know, we can control the boards if that's what it is called for.
Well, it's been a very physical series, an excellent series so far. The Islanders now in front 2-1. Game 4 on Tuesday night on Long Island. Now let's rejoin Dave Hodge in Chicago.
Needless to say, that series more physical than this one so far. And if the Oilers should sweep this Campbell Conference final and the Islanders and Bruins should go 6 or 7 games, maybe you've got the first story of the Stanley Cup final right there. We'll return with the Stanley Cup playoffs and Howie Meeker's NHL playbook in just a moment.
You don't have to put up with hotel excuses like the maid, the TV man, or the plumber is gone for the day, because Holiday Inn gives you this no excuses guarantee in writing. Everything in your room will be right, or we'll make it right. No excuses, or that night you stay free. Now, what other hotel chain gives you that guarantee? So let us take care of you. Holiday Inn gives you a guarantee, not excuses.
The company that has sparked more engines than any other company in the world now introduces guaranteed performance. If you don't agree that fresh Champion spark plugs make your car run better, return the plugs to Champion within 60 days, and we'll give you your money back. So no matter what kind of car you drive, get guaranteed performance from Champion, because nothing sparks like a Champion. Guaranteed.
When you buy a new car, you want to keep it looking new.
And that's easy with Armor All Protectant. A scientific formula that took a polymer chemist 10 years to develop. It helps keep rubber, vinyl, leather, and plastic looking new. So even though you can't keep your car from getting old, you can keep it from looking old. Armor All. It's science, but it works like magic.
Seiko, setting new standards in technology with Road Sport. Seiko's new racer angle dial tracks lap time, average speed. With Sports Timer, Seiko's new action watch counts down, sounds off, counts up. Seiko, setting new standards in elegance. Water resistant for him. Instant classics for her. Seiko, setting the standard for the world, for the future.
It's time for NHL Playbook. Let's turn to forechecking, sending 2 men in. And if you're going to forecheck aggressively, you have to send 2 men in. The first man's only duty, as you see here, is to take the man off the puck and create a loose puck. Now there's the first checker again on the puck carrier. He creates a loose puck. The second man comes in and fields that puck. He has to wait a second for it, but it pops loose. He fields it, gets it back to the open man. The shot on the net, a tip in, and good forechecking earned a goal. Here's another shoot-in. The puck goes behind the net as the Montreal goalkeeper comes out and fields it, and the defenseman goes back to pick it up. Now watch these 2 wingers. The one on the top of your screen shuts off one outlet, and the other on the bottom of your screen reads the play. Defenseman picks up the puck, has to come out this way with it, and watch the great anticipation by the right winger. Around the boards, stops the puck, picks it off the boards onto a stick and gets it to the man in the slot. It's the New York power play. The Canadian defense are standing up, so the Rangers have to shoot the puck in. Now that first man has absolutely no idea of going for the puck. He is going for the man. Look at this. Now the second man comes in to go for the loose puck. And look, 1 on either side, 4 men behind the goal line. No way the Rangers can miss coming up with the puck. And they do. And they will eventually score a goal. And it all comes as a result of aggressive forechecking. Forechecking is the counter to a team's breakout play. And a team that can bottle the other team up and they're in is well on its way to winning.
Presumably, Team Canada coach Dave King is scouring his playbook in preparation for tomorrow's big game between Canada and the Soviet Union. And in Coach's Corner Part 2 tonight, Don Cherry will talk about the World Hockey Championships in West Germany. Hockey Night in Canada continues in just a moment.
Over the years, your changing fuel needs have caused changes in us.
Morning, Joe. Time for gasoline.
In 1939, Esso introduced their new premium.
Esso Extra, please.
With the post-war car boom, the need for gasoline grew. Then came lower-cost self-serve.
Fill her up. Yes, sir.
Unleaded gasoline.
Premium unleaded, please.
Diesel. And down the road, propane and future fuels. Anticipating your needs makes us better.
You make us better, you do. Esso.
If your bank loses time managing your business account, you lose money. To manage your company's funds more profitably, your balances must never be idle. Open a Continental Business Management account, and we'll manage your funds electronically, so you earn daily interest and pay down your operating line automatically. At Continental Bank, your money is always in action. Continental Bank of Canada. Bankers in action.
Tomorrow, Mike finds himself in the middle of a quest for ethnic roots on Hangin' In, followed by The Paul Anka Show.
Canada versus the Soviet Union and Czechoslovakia versus Sweden. That's the schedule tomorrow at the World Hockey Championships in Munich, and the score here is Edmonton 2 and Chicago 0. Don, let's switch our attention to the World Tournament. It looks as though it's going to take something of a miracle for Canada to win the gold medal. First of all, to beat the Soviet Union, and then to get some help from Sweden. But prior to a game between Canada and the Soviet Union, how important do you think is the winning of the gold medal?
Well, gold medal, I think, is great because when you think of it, the job they've done over there, that this is their Stanley Cup. All year, this is it. When they were over there, I saw the Russians actually crying when they win it. And this is their Stanley Cup all year. So Dave King, they've done a great job, and, well, it'd be great to win the Gold Cup.
If they don't, though, and they still beat the Soviets, I mean, is there any disappointment at all if you could beat the Soviets and get a silver medal?
In the dressing room when I was over there, there's a different feeling when you play the Russians. I call them Russians. And there was a different feeling when you played anybody else. The guys were up, and if they could beat them, what a feather in the cap would it be? That'd be just great.
You point out, rather immodestly, that you have a winning record against them, and not too many of our coaches on this side of the ocean do.
1-1, and I didn't realize it till somebody told me, but the three I read in the paper when I was over there, that, and I hate to say it was in the paper, you can't out-Russian the Russians, and that's, you play your game, check right in, finish your checks, have a guy back, close off the center, bother trade check, you're going to be all right. And again, Dave King, he's done a great job in the penalties, and I've noticed two things in watching the games. Number one, their goaltenders can handle the puck now. Never before, they were out fumbling around. Now they can get the puck up like ours can. And the referees aren't calling everything that goes on. And they look like our referees out there. Not as pretty as our referees, but they're just like them. And it's good. And when you get an even break, you can beat them.
Okay, thanks, Don. We, of course, send good luck from everybody at Hockey Night in Canada to the players and the coaching staff of Team Canada prior to the game tomorrow. Now, the third period about to begin here at the Chicago Stadium. The fans just itching for a chance to burst forth with one of those loud roars that we heard prior to the game, and we have not heard since. Let's get ready to drop the puck and go to Bob and Mickey.
Thank you, Dave. And Don, as we get ready to start the third period, Preston has 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining in his penalty. So right away, Edmonton Mickey will go on the power play for that time. You saw the scoring summary. Huddy and Jackson, the goal scorers for Edmonton, and it's 2-0 Oilers.
No, needless to say, they can ill afford, the Hawks, that is, to give up another goal. Got to kill this penalty off successfully and try to go and get back into this hockey game.
Preston now has 1 minute 4 seconds left. It is penalty as Curry sets it up for Anderson. Anderson swinging away on the boards, gets it back near the line. It goes to Anderson again. Then Gretzky. Gretzky can't shoot it. Wilson has it for Chicago, stepping in front of his own net. 45 seconds left in the penalty to Chicago on that pass up across center ice. It'll be called back inside the Chicago blue line.
How's this for an offense? The Oilers out there in that power play. Anderson with 48 goals this year. Gretzky, well, we all know what he did, 71. Curry with 45. Coffey with 29. And Huddy with 20. That is some offense.
Chicago, over the two periods, have outshot Edmonton 30-24. In the second period, the Oilers outshot Chicago 17-14. That'll tell you what kind of a first period Andy Moog had for Edmonton, in which Chicago had 16 shots while holding the Oilers to 7. But in that second period, Edmonton came up with the 2 goals, and they're leading 2-0. 44 seconds left on this power play. Preston in the penalty box for Chicago. Coffey left it there in his own zone, and now Mark Messier coming down to center. He went in, dropped it back to Huddy. His shot, that was just wide. Anderson was upended in front of Tony Esposito. The play comes back to center. Oilers get back, and Coffey coming up off his knees as he fell. Gets back in. Coffey left it at the blue line. Gretzky coming into the corner from Huddy. Gretzky looking for it, poked it loose. Comes back to Huddy. Huddy gets set to Gretzky again. Weak shot off a stake to center ice. And now Preston is back on the ice for Chicago. The Hawks are at full strength again. 2-0 Edmonton in this Game 3. In the Campbell Conference Final, the Oilers leading the series 2-0. From Chicago Stadium, this is Stanley Cup 83 on CBC.
I can feel it.
Braun.
I can feel it now.
Ultra-thin foil, platinum coated, smooth and close, and only Braun has it. If you don't believe there's a difference, shave with your rotary. Then shave right away with Braun. You can hear Braun cutting the stubble you left behind.
I can hear it.
You can sense the Braun difference. Now, with up to $10 back, you can sense the value, too.
One minute and 27 seconds into the second period. I'm Bob Cole, and with me here in the broadcast area in the Chicago Stadium is Mickey Redmond. The crowd, over 20,000 here tonight. They want to be noisy, Mickey, but so far the Hawks have been unable to get a goal for them. That's Crossman. He dropped it back to the zone net. Edmonton doing some great forechecking now. And Hughes in there, trying to get it in front, but Fox had him covered. Crossman got a pass away. The Hawks finally bring it out. Secord and Savard get as far as the Edmonton line, and then Randy Gregg broke it up. Hunter was bumped, and Gregg takes over. Against Savard to the other side to Jackson. Jackson's pass through the middle. Fox stopped that. Al Secord, and he is one player who has to get going for the Hawks to do anything.
This line completely, Larmer, Savard, and Secord, Bob. They're the ones that can do it. So far, they've been held off the board.
Savard knocked down. Fans calling for a penalty. Anything to get the Hawks going. They've played 2.5 minutes of this period. And it's 0-0 Edmonton. Now the Oilers are making quick changes. Larmer tipped it near the line to center. Kevin Lowe nearly broke it up. Lysiak coming in, had a couple of good moves and then lost it. And it was Lowe who picked it off. Lowe played it to the other side to center. Lindsman tucked it through for Messier. Coming in. Lindstrom spun around, knocked down. In front of the net, Dingster got rid of it. 3 Hawks to center. Secord just watching the play go down. He was trying to get to the bench. Sutter missed it. Lindsman had trouble controlling, but Messier brings it in. Messier cuts for the net. He was hit hard. And the puck is in the mesh in behind Esposito. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Chicago Stadium.
When you buy something from Canadian Tire, it's not the end of our relationship, it's the beginning. Because we know there's more to a good value than just a good price. So we stand behind our products to make sure they do what they're supposed to, for as long as they're supposed to. At Canadian Tire, we'll be there when you need us.
Night. Night. Night.
Night. Another reason why there's a lot more to Canadian Tire than tires.
Well, Bob, we see Tessier coming right back with the Savard line again. Here's a look at Messier a moment ago, cutting in and really getting wrapped by Keith Brown. And right back on the ice comes the Savard line.
And the puck comes right through. Esposito's crease comes to the boards. Hawks get it up to center. Coffey and Huddy on the Edmonton defense now. Murray, Anderson, and Gretzky for Edmonton. The Hawks, Savard, upended. Secord on the boards. Larmer scores!
That's what they've been waiting for. Listen to this play. Savard dumped at center ice. They hollered for a penalty. And a screen shot from 50 feet out beats Andy Moog. Secord just dropped it back to Larmer, and he just let it go. Just directed it at the net. I think Moog was screened. It went right over his shoulder into the top of the net.
28, Steve Larmer.
And this place erupts.
.349, the time of that Chicago goal.
Look out now. They'll be coming at them.
2-1 Edmonton. And this building is going wild. Let's see how this unfolds. The Hawks get some life. Over there, Higgins was bumped. Oilers keep that forechecking up, and now they break away. Higgins coming in, and he was checked from behind. A good play by Jackson. Higgins again trying to tip it back. Rote broke it up. He's out for Edmonton. A pass into Hughes. He can't go in. Rote flipped it behind the net. Higgins chasing it. Kevin Lowe was there. Now the Hawks. Crossman got it up to center, and Higgins carries in. Higgins with Fraser. Fraser into the corner. Stops in there. Hangs on to it. They get a face-off in the zone. This is Hockey Night in Canada from the Chicago Stadium.
This latest Xerox duplicator works overtime for just pennies a copy. It makes 120 incredible-looking copies in just 1 minute. But we're also inventing ways of saving time and money on a much smaller scale. This latest Xerox 2830 Compact is versatile, inexpensive, handles oversized documents, and it's only 20 inches wide. And as remarkable as that may be, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Well, Mickey, this is the Chicago Stadium we've come to know over the years. The crowd is standing here at the Chicago Stadium, over 20,000 of them, roaring their approval of the Hawks. Forechecking now. That's Beamster going in. Sutter is in to help them. They'll get another whistle, and the crowd will go again.
Well, you can't ask for anything more than what the Hawks are getting here as far as support. Right into the upper reaches of this building, all the way to the top corners. This place is jam-packed, over 20,000. And you're going to hear a lot from them here in the next 14 minutes and 55 seconds.
Lysiak, Sutter, Preston for Chicago, Beamster, and Keith Brown. Every man up, 2-1 Edmonton. Nearing the 6-minute mark of the third period. On a Sunday night in Chicago. And they're rocking and rolling now as Sutter flipped it in behind the net. There's Messier now. He tipped it to center. The Hawks are on it quickly. And they tried to slap it back in. That was Preston. It went high over the glass.
What did Lindsman ever level Keith Brown over in front of the Blackhawk bench? Brown just dumping that puck by the Oilers up to his teammates, and he got leveled by Kenny Lindsman. Crowd hollering for that one. Looking for another penalty. Have a look at this. Boom. He caught him unprotected. He was trying to make that move. He had no way to protect himself, and big size difference as well with Lindsman and Brown.
Here's Beamster now, number 3 for Chicago. Shooting it in. It bounced on a stick and right down to Kevin Lowe, but Sutter is on it. Centered it. There, it's scrambled, and it's cleared off in the corner. The Hawks keep it in. They're furious now in their attack. That's Lysiak and Sutter. Beamster pinching in. Good play. Lysiak got it in front of the net. Here's Beamster again. Sutter went after it. He was bumped. Beamster all over the place. Beamster again. A penalty coming up against Edmonton. In back of the net. The Chicago net is empty. Edmonton finally grabbing the puck. And now there's a penalty to the Edmonton Oilers with a score, Edmonton 2, Chicago 1. This is Stanley Cup 83.
At Ford of Canada, there's a new team spirit at work.
You get a number 1 car, and that's what Ford's all about, making number 1 cars.
As a woman working at Ford, I have a
water inside that man can't see.
The steering column and the dash itself.
All right. The steering column is located by what we call a wide brace to the firewall.
Better and better. See what we've done at Ford. Quality is job one.
Kenny Linsman in the box for the Edmonton Oilers. And what a crowd noise now. The Hawks are on the power play.
Interference penalty against Linsman. Savard. Seacourt in front of the net. Wilson's shot. Rebound is there. Andy Moog had made the save off Wilson, who stops it up the blue line again. Savard in front. Seacourt a second chance. Moog looking steady. The Oilers shoot it down the ice. Minute 30 left in the penalty now. 2-1. Edmonton leading. And they're on the move, these Hawks. Savard can't go in. Greg broke it up. Got up by Wilson. Look out. There's Gretzky firing it. Esposito stopped it. And went in behind him. He didn't see it. But the Hawks get a life right there. Again, Savard spinning around at center ice. Backing up. Gretzky chasing him. Savard going in. Good play by Savard. Tried to hit it to Seacourt. Couldn't. Wilson's shot hit by Greg into the crowd.
Well, it seems like the Oilers are everywhere on the ice. Even when they're short-handed, they've got 2 and 3 guys after the puck. That great speed allows them to do that and still get back into position. The Hawks are having a bit of trouble. Look at this chance by Gretzky short-handed. Esposito gets it off the pad. It goes up in the air, comes down right in the crease and just laid there. Look at that thing. Whew.
57 seconds left and the penalty to Ken Linsman of the Edmonton Oilers. 2-1 is the score. Edmonton leading. The Hawks power play. Wilson to the other side. Murray in a step. Deflected again. You wonder why, Mickey, they wait so long and give a checker an opportunity to block those shots.
Well, most guys feel they can't do anything from 40, 50 feet out with a wrist shot. So they take the time to make the big slap shot. It allows the checker to come in and get in the road. And a lot of times, all they have to do from that point area is get the puck through. It doesn't have to be really hard or anything, but get it through to where your teammates are in front of that net. You never know what can happen. It beats having it go up into the stands.
Lysiak, Sutter, and Preston now for Chicago on the power play. 51 seconds left in the Linsman penalty. Wilson, Murray, the 2 Hawk defensemen. Edmonton can't clear it out. Wilson kept it in. Gretzky and Messier are penalty killers there. The Hawks to Wilson. Shot. Rebound. Gretzky had it hit him. And
Charlie Huddy is injured. Along the boards, he never got up. A moment ago, he went in the corner, tried to clear the puck up, and he stumbled and lost his footing just before getting to the puck, and he went in very, very heavily and did not get up off the ice as the play resumed, and the Hawks got that scoring chance. And finally, Andy Van Hellemond blew the play dead. We can't see down there against those boards, but I'm sure it's Charlie Huddy, as he really took a tumble into those boards.
That's Peter Miller of the Edmonton staff, the athletic therapist who's out there attending Charlie Huddy.
Let's have a look at, there's Huddy, 22. Look at how he lost his footing. Right there, something went wrong. His feet got tangled up with each other, maybe something on the ice, and he went into those boards head first and just didn't move once he got there. That does not look good. Concerned Glenn Sather, naturally behind that Oiler bench. Paul Coffey down helping with Charlie Huddy. Boy, he hasn't moved, Bob.
Well, we can only hope that he has not been seriously injured, but as you say, Mickey, he has not moved, and you see Peter Miller there talking to him. Huddy is kind of starting to get up. He's on all fours now. What a year he has had. Here it is again.
If you can see his footing go out from underneath, and there he is coming into your screen at the bottom right there. And look at that tumble, right shoulder and head first into those boards, as the feet just seem to go out from under him. You know, the people here at Chicago do throw a lot of stuff on the ice during a hockey game, and it's very possible that he could have stepped on something in there because his feet just completely left him. And Huddy looks like he is going to be okay as he gets help over to the Oiler bench with Coffey and Pete Miller. Boy, that looked awful dangerous when he first went flying in there.
It looks okay now. That's a good sign for the Edmonton Oilers. Charlie Huddy is up, and he has gone to the bench. And he is staying right there. Now, with 37 seconds left in the Lindsman penalty, and the score Edmonton 2 and Chicago 1, this power play with a face-off to the left of Andy Moog. Lysiak with Sutter and Preston. Murray and Wilson. Same lineup.
Well, Sutter's been kicked out again. Or I should say Lysiak. That's about the 4th time he's been kicked out of the face-off circle.
And the Oilers will shoot it down the ice. That's a big help with only 30 seconds left in the penalty now. Wilson moving it to Murray. Up along the boards, and here comes Lysiak coming in. Lysiak gets in! Took the shot, and Moog went with him and made the save. Sutter has it. 15 seconds left in the Lindsman penalty. Preston over there. Here it comes to Wilson. He can really shoot it. There it is. And it's stopped by Andy Moog. And we've got another penalty coming up.
Boy, Sutter was dumped Bob in front of Andy Moog, and that's going to pay again. The Oilers are going to get another penalty.
Hockey Night in Canada will continue in a moment.
Come on and grip the light fantastic. Get a hold of a light and easy. It's cool to the touch. Well, thank you very much. It's got a spray and surge to steam itself cleans like a dream. Come on and grip the light fantastic.
The light and easy irons from CGE. Come on and grip the light fantastic.
GE, we bring good things to life.
7:48 the time of this second Edmonton penalty. There's the man, Don Jackson, for interference, and 6 seconds Mickey Redmond left in Lindsman's penalty.
Now look at the top left of your screen. There's Sutter coming in front, and there is Jackson putting the bite on him. He really slammed him down heavily, and what a chance for the Hawks.
Savard sequarding from Wilson. Hit the crossbar. No goal. It's still in play. There's one. Finally, Savard got the open net, and the place has gone wild again.
I'll tell you, I can feel this broadcast booth shaking. There's the shot by Wilson that went off the crossbar, landed on the knob of the stick of Andy Moog, and a great pass right over to Savard. Andy Moog, no chance on the play. Bingo for Denny Savard, and we've got ourselves a hockey game. 2-2.
Assisted by number 28, Steve Larmer, and number 20, Al Secord, at 7:56.
7:56 here in the third period, and the game is all tied at 2.
What a great pass by Larmer as he spotted Savard over there, put it right on his stick, and he made no mistake.
And on that goal, of course, the Oilers are back at full strength. Secord is in offside.
Well, it took him just 8 seconds to score the goal. There was 6 seconds left in the penalty to Lindsman. It had expired, fortunately for the Oilers, and so does Jackson come out of the box to put him back at even strength.
I'll tell you what was fortunate for Edmonton there, that Wilson didn't score on his shot.
You're right.
That hit the crossbar, because that would allow Lindsman to come out, and then they would have had probably another minute 50 seconds or so to serve on the second penalty.
Everybody in the building thought Wilson's shot went in, but as we saw on the replay, it came right straight off that pipe and landed on the stick of Moog.
Hawks have some momentum now here in the third period. They fought back to tie the Edmonton Oilers at 2. This is Cote coming out with Hughes and Hunter. Low shot off the net. Esposito has not been terribly busy here in the third period. Here's Bragg's shot. That was wide. Higgins, Ludwig, and Fraser for Chicago. That is Higgins having all kinds of trouble against Cote, and they hold it on the boards.
Well, a true character test for the Edmonton Oilers. Really been about their biggest test so far in the playoffs here. On the road. Blackhawks, by the way, Bob, have not lost 3 games in a row all season long. So that certainly has to be in their favor. Here with 11:23 to go, the game tied at 2. They're on their home ice. They've got 20,000 fanatics behind them here at the stadium. And listen to them.
And this is playoff hockey. Edmonton leading 2-0, and the Hawks have come back to tie it here in the third. Weston went flying. Coffey is in. Anderson is in front of the net. Cleared to Gretzky behind the goal. He falls. Sutter racing out. Huddy took a shot. It's tipped in front of Esposito by Murray. Then to Preston. Lysiak waited for the pass. It didn't arrive. It bounced up and hit Coffey.
Tell you what, though, Bob, the Hawks have got to settle down. They are really nervous out there. You saw that puck jumping in front of the net. You look at the veteran, Tommy Lysiak. 23-goal season this year, 61 points. Well, he's got 12 points coming into tonight's game in the playoffs so far, but the Hawks have got to relax, play their game. They're really nervous out there. I don't think I've ever seen them be this nervous. And again, we look at Charlie Huddy, who's down again by the Oiler bench. And boy, he looks like he's in pain, Bob.
He sure does. Huddy was injured earlier, and now Peter Miller is helping Huddy off. That's the second time in the last 3 minutes.
I'll tell you what, the way he went into the boards a few moments ago, that certainly has to shake something up inside of that body. He had no way to protect himself at all.
Gretzky with Curry and Anderson. Lysiak stealing it on the draw. But now Curry. Vogelin flipped one in. Wide of the Chicago net. Score tied at 2, and the puck flying over the glass again. Now we're down to the 9:16 mark in this third period. The speed of this Edmonton team. And here's one of the speedsters, Glenn Anderson. The statistic spells it all.
Well, of course,
he's a bullet.
With that big 4-goal game. And what a skater he is. You hit it on the nose, Bob. I think it was his 4th goal that he scored the other night. He was going at full speed one moment and a dead stop the next, and making a move to dump that puck high into the net. Amazing display of talent by Glenn Anderson and agility.
Larmer, Savard, and Secord on the move. Hooked away at center by Anderson. Wilson getting into it. He was stopped by Gregg. Now Curry near center ice for Edmonton. A pass to the other side. Coffey shot tipped near the net, wide. Savard went back there, and he gets a little bit of help. Murray tried to lug it out. He did. Got it down the ice, and Gregg is back. Coffey. Score tied at 2. Curry gets the pass to Gretzky. Gretzky cutting in, driving for the net. Stopped by Fox. Savard going around the net to Larmer, coming out with Savard and Secord. There's Savard. He stopped dead in his tracks at center by Kevin Lowe. 9:45 remaining in the third period. Score tied at 2. Edmonton's Linsman cutting in. Barrels his way in front of the net. Oilers moving fast now into the corner. Linsman went after it. The Hawk Sutter coming up, though, with the puck to center. Sutter trying to go in himself. No room. Kevin Lowe blocked. Long pass to Lindstrom down the ice. Hoffman is going back, and it's called. Live from Chicago Stadium, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
You wanted defense, great engine defense. So we made our motor oil better. SO Uniflow, our best motor oil. SO Uniflow gives better defense against heat, against corrosion, against engine wear. You wanted better defense, so we made a better motor oil. SO Uniflow.
You make us better. SO.
Going wild again. They're going wild again here in Chicago. The big pipe organ.
Bob, we've been told that Charlie Huddy has gone to the Edmonton dressing room, so certainly pass anything on that we might get. Line of what the problem is.
Lysiak got the draw, rolled it in front. Lowe got rid of it. The Lindstrom on the move. Coming in on this wing is Lindstrom centering it right in the crease area. Messier fanned on his shot. Sutter back. Sutter going in. Lysiak back to him. Another shot blocked by Moog. They came close on that one. There's a drive by Brown. That was deflected wide. Hawks with more pressure on now. Preston slips into the corner. Sutter fighting for it. Fogelin goes in for Edmonton to help. And the play is whistle dead inside that Edmonton blue line.
Boy, another great scoring chance for the Hawks. With Lysiak dumping that puck into the slot. Boy, oh boy, Preston just unable to get his stick on it. And Andy Moog again stands tall for the Edmonton Oilers. 8:41 to go. Here's how it comes. Lysiak drawing Lee Fogelin with him. And look at the shot by Sutter right on. I don't think he got a lot of wood on it. It seemed to jump just as he got it on his stick. But Preston unable to get that rebound. Once again, a big face-off down in the Edmonton zone.
With Ludzik, Fraser, and Higgins for the Hawks. That is Fraser, number 8. Ludzik, 29, getting in front to Fraser, and he was stopped. Score tied at 2. Fraser gets back up. Higgins helping him. Fraser centered it. Ludzik shot. Grabbed by Andy Moog. What a beautiful save by Moog.
It's all Hawks right now. They've really got momentum on their side. Higgins, Ludzik, Fraser putting all kinds of pressure on the Oilers, forechecking them. Look at the save by Moog on Ludzik right there, as that one was headed for the short side, right against the post. Well, you can see why Sather is happy with the goaltending of Andy Moog.
Cote, Hunter, and Hughes for Edmonton trying to get it out, but they can't do it. Crossman fired it in. Ludzik behind the net, left it there. Fraser couldn't move it in front. And now Cote will bring it down the ice for Edmonton. Backhands it in, wide of the net. Greg Fox is in first for Chicago. They hold it on the boards, and they'll get a face-off down the Chicago zone.
We've been informed, Bob, that Charlie Huddy has a twisted lower back. And I'm sure that occurred when he did go headlong into the boards. The original accident that he had when he lost his footing completely. There was no way for him to protect himself, and jammed himself into those boards, but hopefully, or let's hope that it is not a serious injury. He was in obvious pain when he went down a second time over by the Oiler bench, and boy, a back can really be a problem, but let's hope he's okay.
8 minutes, 2 seconds remaining in the third period. The score tied at 2. Ralston waved out. Make that Cote waved out. Hughes in. Hunter on the other side for Edmonton. And up there, Jackson, a shot deflected wide. Hawks trying to pick it up in their own zone to get it going again. They have exerted tremendous pressure on the Edmonton Oilers here, and a fight has started now.
Fox and Hunter, I believe, Bob, down there. All kinds of scrambling going on. They're trying to get those players out of there now like they're supposed to be back in their own area. They're just letting Fox and Hunter go at it. Neither one of them really getting too loose to do anything at this point. And in come the policemen, and they break it up. Boy, all kinds of slamming, banging, heavy checking going on down in the corner. You can see that was ready to break out. They'll get a chance to cool off as they go to the penalty box.
Now, does this type thing, Mickey, stall a team's momentum? Obviously, Chicago has had it going here in the period. Or does this, in fact, help?
I don't think it will, Bob. The Hawks have got all kinds of momentum going. Here's Hunter starting some of that action out in there with Ludzik, and then Fox comes in, and they carry it through. Fox with a pretty good fight on Hunter, and away we go. But I don't think it'll hurt the Hawks. I mean, they're just going on emotion right now in this building with these people screaming and yelling, and they come back from a 2-goal deficit to tie it up. And they've had all kinds of scoring chances here in this third period.
Penalty, Hunter, 5 minutes for fighting. Blackhawk penalty, Fox, 5 minutes for fighting at 12:13.
And we've got a couple of dandies on the ice now. 99 Gretzky for Edmonton against 18 Savard for Chicago.
So
Either one of them worth the price of admission.
Major penalties handed out on that last skirmish, so the teams will remain at full strength. And you've got Gretzky, like you say, Mickey, in against Savard. Curry and Anderson up on the wings. It comes back on the line. Coffey's shot didn't get through. Gretzky was checked out of the goal crease area. Now the Hawks move it again. Savard with Secord. Savard going in with Secord. And the shot is stopped by Mold. Well, what a play again by Denny Savard. Gretzky couldn't clear it. He gets another chance. This time he'll move it out. Up to center. That's Curry going in. Coffey's shot right at Esposito. And Tony Esposito, not too busy here in the third period, covered the angle and held it.
Boy, Savard once again, you said it, what a move. He just one-handed that puck through the defenseman's feet again. And unfortunately for the Hawks, the pass over to Secord was a little bit behind him. He did get a shot on goal eventually. But I think if that had been up in front of Secord on his stick, it might have been a 3-2 hockey game. Let's have a look at it. Watch Savard carrying the puck. He's trying to beat Jari Kurri right here. He does have him beaten, and bingo, slips it through. 2-on-1 now with Fogelin. And we're set to go again.
Back to the live action, and that's Savard trying to hook it out of his own zone. Fogelin at the blue line to Kurri. In front is Gretzky. Gretzky coming in now, making a pair of great moves. Another shot. They score! Well, Savard might have done it down the other way, but Gretzky put on a bit of a show himself inside that Chicago line to set that up.
You bet he did. And Dennis Savard lost his stick trying to check Gretzky originally. That left him with only 4 players out there. Look at Gretzky. Makes the play back to where he came from to Kurri. It tipped off of Esposito. He went down, and Anderson, Johnny on the spot, dumped it high into the net over top of Tony Esposito. And there's Savard losing the stick right there. And bingo, like that, the Oilers are back in the lead.
That goal comes at 13:05 of the period. Assisting on the goal by Anderson. 3-2, Edmonton. They're out front again. Now Sutter comes in for Chicago. He was bumped. Oilers can't clear it. Brown from the blue line. Tosses it in front. Lindstrom brings it out. Gets it down. Lindstrom breaking for the net. He centered it. And the Oilers come close again. They have to come back to center ice as the Hawks send them back. Blackhawks and Oilers both changing now as the play goes in, and Lumley racing in after it. Tipped it in front. Hughes was tied up on the play by Preston, allowing Lysiak to move out. Lumley stayed with him all the way, and the Hawks had to come back. That's Murray. Stopped by Lumley. Up there is Feenstra to get it ahead to Lysiak, and he dumped it out to center. 5:45 remaining in the third period. It's a 3-2 hockey game. Edmonton in front again on Glenn Anderson's goal just moments ago. Again, Lysiak deep in his own zone. Can't clear it. Yes, he does. It gets over Fogelin's stick. Kevin Lowe up the ice to center. Hawks changing quickly. Here's Hughes, one-on-one. Hughes goes in, takes a look. In front of the net was Cote, but he just failed to reach it. Fraser back up the ice, went by him. Coffey takes over in his own zone. 5:10 to play in the third period. Hawks keep it in. Not for long. Oilers on it again. That's Anderson with Coffey. In front it goes. Murray was covered. Crosby left him there. Gretzky looks for it. They're bumping in the corner, and Anderson has it. Back of the net, Gretzky got in front. Knocked down, and Fraser has it. He's away. Gretzky chasing him. Tied him up, and Gretzky stole it. But Wilson carries on. He's dumped up the line. One off stride. And the Oilers just shoot it down the ice. This could be icing. It is. Icing against Edmonton.
Well, the Oilers not easing up. They want to put this game away right now. They're leading by 1. And they'd love to get a 2-goal lead here with less than 5 minutes to go. They've really taken it away here in the last 4 or 5 minutes from the Hawks.
Edmonton built up a 2-0 lead in the second period. Huddy and Jackson getting the goals. And then Larmer, the first for Chicago, his 4th of the playoff. Savard, his 8th of the playoff. And it tied the game at 2. And Anderson now for Edmonton with his 8th of the Stanley Cup playoffs. 3-2 Edmonton. Savard on again with Secord and Larmer. Feimster. Out there with Crossman, the other defenseman. Crossman from Peterborough, Ontario. Mickey, your neck of the woods, 22 years old. There he is, 6'2", 190 pounds of him, clearing it in. Another whistle, a face-off just inside the Edmonton line. High stick making contact.
Bogelin getting the stick up over the shoulder. Time becoming a factor. 4:12 to go in the hockey game. Unless the Hawks can tie it and put it into OT.
Savard got the draw, but it hopped over the stick of Feimster to center. Now Crossman. Lobbed a pass ahead. Hawks looking a bit disorganized between the 2 blue lines. Edmonton, though, not allowing them to move so much as they did for the first 10 minutes of the period. They were really flying in this third period. Now Secord to Savard. Savard coming in, dropping it to Larmer. And again, he was covered by Messier. He turns near center. Savard lugs it back to his own line. Then he lost it to Bogelin, who dumped it in. Feimster back. Oilers changing quickly. Pass to Feimster. Crossman again. Up with Secord on his left. Going in. That's Crossman. He went in a deep drag. Craig stayed with him all the way and took him in on the board. 3:15 left in regulation time. Wilson knocking it down. Played it over on the other side. Hawks running around again now. Preston ran into his own man over there. Couldn't move it.
Well, they just had caught in the middle of a line change there. Preston coming off the bench ran smack into Crossman, but really couldn't be helped. The Hawks, both teams are changing very quickly here. The players, both sides getting tired. It's been a very physical hockey game. Both teams skating very well. And Wilson trying to set it up and have a look. There's Crossman just trying to get out of the road. And bang. Right into Preston.
Mickey, Oilers know if they can hang on to win this game tonight, they're so close to the Stanley Cup final. It's not even funny.
Well, you know, they'd love to try to put Chicago away in 4 straight, maybe 5 at the most if they have to, and then sit back and watch the Islanders and Bruins bang away at each other in a possible 6 or 7 game series and be sitting waiting for them.
Lysiak with Sutter and Preston for Chicago. Cote, Hunter and Hughes for the Edmonton Oilers. An icing called against Edmonton with 3:01 remaining in regulation time. There's the score, 3-2 Edmonton. They had a 2-0 lead, but the Hawks came back here in the third period and got this place jumping when they tied it.
Yeah, they'd like to do that one more time here, Bob, before this one's all over. The Oilers can make you do a lot of funny things out there when they're on top of their game, and they certainly have the Hawks disorganized at certain points in this hockey game and making errors they wouldn't normally make. But the Oilers, the way they play, can do that to any hockey club.
Lysiak in to take the draw. Gets it right on the net. Moe just swept it aside. They dump it out to center ice with 2:50 left in regulation time. Edmonton up by a goal. And now Lysiak coming in with Sutter, getting the pass. Dropped it in front and right in. Great chance for Preston, and he fired it wide. Good setup to start the play by Lysiak. Coffey, puck behind him. Sutter gets it. Going in, Lysiak catching up. In front of the net is Lysiak. Sutter hooked it with his skate. Cote all over him. Preston trying to knock it loose. 4 players in on the board. Puck is still loose. Play continues. Cote hammered at it. It comes right to Wilson. He dumped it in front of the net. And Edmonton covering up. 2:10 left in regulation time. That is Lumley sending it in. And the Oilers come out with Gretzky very quickly. Curry and Anderson. 2 minutes left in the regulation time. The score 3-2. Edmonton leading. That's Kevin Lowe. There goes Gretzky, and he's got some speed up now. The shot ripped it wide. Crossman was chasing him. Now Curry losing it. Kingster coming in for Chicago. Dropped it back. Gretzky gets away again. Crossman is back. Gretzky faked the shot, and he hit the goalpost with that low drive, making Esposito to move with him. Hawks dump it down. Curry brings it back in. Curry with Lowe. High shot. 1:20 left in regulation time. Secord missed it at center, and it's called.
Well, Hunter and Fox out of the penalty box now after their 5-minute fighting majors. 1:18 to go. The face-off at center ice. We'll be keeping our eye on Tony Esposito. I'm sure that they may call a timeout right now to get organized. Esposito is over at the bench talking to Orville Tessier. There's a look at Gretzky again on that last rush as he faked it, went to the middle as he likes to do, and went back to where he just came from, and a good angle shot of that drive off the bottom of that left post.
A timeout called with now, Mickey, 1:18 left. Now, at which point, we're going to watch Esposito, of course. Or Tessier. Now there's Tessier. You saw moments ago Glenn Saylor talking to his charges. There's Esposito over at the bench.
Well, he's just getting instructions from Tessier as well how he wants him to play this, whether he should stay right in the net for now with his face-off at center, or whether he should stay out 15 or 20 feet closer to the bench. But obviously what the Hawks would like to do is gain control of this puck, dump it in the Oilers zone, barrel in on top of them, and try to force a face-off, and then get Esposito out and go with that sixth attacker.
It's 3-2 Edmonton. The Oilers leading 2-0 in the series, looking for a 3-game lead with this one. The Hawks battling back here in the third period. Now 1:15 to play in regulation time. Lindstrom tipped it in deep into the Chicago zone. That's Murray with Wilson. And here is Savard. Here comes Esposito out of the net. Savard going in. Shoot! High shot. Missed the net. Hawks have the extra man on, and the net is empty. This could be it. Lindsman is away with the empty Chicago goal. Murray took him in on the boards. And the Hawks come up with it. Look out. Secord. 45 seconds to play. They have the extra man on. Secord shooting it in. Hogue out of the net to clear it. Hit Lysiak. 39 seconds left. They get a face-off in the Edmonton zone, and now 36 seconds remaining in regulation time, with the Edmonton Oilers leading by a goal, and there is Esposito on the bench.
Well, they got the face-off they wanted deep in the Oilers zone to the right of Andy Moog. Now, of course, Tessier would like to have a timeout now to give Savard a bit of a rest in his line, who've been out there, but he used it already.
Moments ago, Lindsman had an opportunity. He had crossed center ice. Of course, he does not want to shoot it before he hits center ice to set up an icing and a face-off like the one that's coming up, although this is not because of icing. They held it on the boards. But Lindsman had an opportunity to have a go at the empty net down there. He chose not to carry on. Let's see what happens. 36 seconds remaining in regulation time. The score 3-2. Edmonton. Anderson getting the go-ahead goal for the Oilers.
Well, Dougie Wilson will be the big shooter back in that slot area. Probably the only one of the Hawks back there waiting for the draw from Savard. Hopefully Savard can win it from Gretzky and get it back to Dougie Wilson, who's right in the slot area, as well as Crossman back at the blue line.
All right, Savard against Gretzky. Oilers trying to move it out. Crossman kept it in. Lowe went after it. That might get to the line. No, it doesn't. Lysiak stopped it. Lysiak boots it loose. Hawks have it now. Crossman right at the blue line, just kept it in. 20 seconds left. It's centered. Wilson. That shot deflected. 15 seconds left, and it's tipped down the ice. Gretzky just got a stick on it. 10 seconds left. Oilers are going to take a 3-game lead in this series with 5 seconds left. The play is called on the offside, so the face-off will be outside the Edmonton blue line. And it looks like it.
It's about going to do it, Bob, with 5 seconds left. Savard tried to tee that one up for Dougie Wilson back at the point. Just a little feathery, soft pass, but Gretzky just, with an outstretched stick, got a piece of it and deflected it into center ice. And that's about all she wrote. With 5 seconds left.
So often we talk about the offensive skills of Wayne Gretzky, but you know, if you watch him carefully throughout a game, he does one heck of a lot of back-checking, and he made a great defensive move there as the siren goes to end this hectic, exciting third game in this conference final. And the Edmonton Oilers now very happy, as you know, as you might expect, taking a 3-game lead, and that's his stranglehold. It looks as if they're going in the Stanley Cup final.
Well, they know exactly where they stand, Bob, and they do have a commanding lead now. And a very dejected Chicago Hockey Club gave it a pretty good shot here tonight. We're back into the hockey game. But the Oilers' depth, speed, and experience now just came back and allowed them to take the play right back away from Chicago, who really, as you mentioned earlier, Bob, had controlled the first 10-12 minutes of this third period. But the Oilers came back, did what they had to do, and Glenn Anderson finished it off with that high shot over Esposito. And you see a happy bunch of Oilers going down to their dressing room underneath the ice surface of the Chicago Stadium.
All right, final score here. It's over. Edmonton by a goal. They take a 3-game lead in the series. And here is Dave Hodge.
The 3 stars of tonight's game. The first star, Andy Moog, who held the Oilers in it with sensational goaltending. Second star, Denny Savard of the Blackhawks, and this was certainly his best game of the series. And Wayne Gretzky assisted on 2 goals, including Glenn Anderson's winner with less than 7 minutes to play. And Bob Cole was exactly correct when he talked about the defensive cooperation and the great play all around of Gretzky tonight. And it's very unlikely that you can see him play and not say good things about him tonight, offensively and defensively, for Gretzky. So the final score of tonight's game, Edmonton 3 and Chicago 2.
The newly created Cougar, formed to split the wind. Cougar takes flight on a 3.8-liter V6 engine and reaches a new level of ride and handling with its nitro-cushion suspension system. Cougar, with aircraft-inspired doors that wrap you in quiet comfort. You're early. You must have flown. Mercury Cougar, if it had wings.
It's an excitement you can taste. Rich, colorful, refreshingly light, cool, and creamy smooth as the land it comes from. It's the Dairy Queen Banana Split. Come taste the excitement.
In the land of Dairy Queen, we treat you right.
Let's recap this game. An exciting 3-2 victory for the Oilers. Not as exciting as 20,000 Chicago fans would have liked. Scoreless first period, 16 saves by Andy Moog. In the second period, the Oilers built a 2-0 lead. Charlie Huddy and Don Jackson scored, and 14 more saves by Andy Moog in that period. Then the Blackhawks came back in the third with goals by Steve Larmer and Denny Savard to tie the game. But Glenn Anderson's winner from Wayne Gretzky and Yari Curry at 13:05 put Edmonton up 3 games to none for the Blackhawks in this series. And with me now is the first star of this game, Edmonton goaltender Andy Moog, who had one word to describe this evening as far as he was concerned, and that was hectic. Let's expand on that just a bit. Playing goal in this sort of an atmosphere in this stadium, tell me what it was like out there.
Well, first off, you can't get the smile off your face. It's so exciting out there to play. The people are just completely into the hockey game. They want their Hawks to do well, and they're just back them. And I tell you, it works for our hockey club, too, when we hear that kind of support.
Well, it obviously did, and it seemed to work for you as much or more than anybody, when I guess some people might have thought that a certain lack of experience on your part in these situations, though we can remember 2 years ago, might have affected you, but you turned it into a positive thing.
Well, I think confidence overrides experience at this point in the season. You can have all the experience in the world, but if you're not working in as a team and confident in each other, you're not really going to win anything. And we're confident in our ability and each other to go out and perform and do their jobs out in the ice, and it just makes for a good atmosphere and a good working climate.
How much does it help your confidence to play as much as you played, to know that every night you're going to be in there? There's no doubt about who the Edmonton goaltender is, and you approach the playoffs knowing that as long as you play well, you're going to stay there.
Well, it's really exciting to get the support, but I like to think that everyone on the team contributes in some kind of way, the guys that aren't playing all the way to the guys that are playing 30 minutes a game. It's exciting for me to know that when I come to the rink, I'm going to play, and I'm hopefully going to do my job and have success.
In front of the net, are the Hawks bothering you as much as they'd like to do, or are you getting that sort of help from your defenseman that it makes it easier than it might be for you to play?
Well, I think you put your finger on it right there. It's the help from the defenseman that makes it so easy. I see every shot from the point. I haven't had to bother with a screen or a tip in like that in the last 3 games. To a great extent, there have been a few, but my people are really doing a great job out in front.
You don't have the unfortunate circumstance that all the other goalies in this league have of trying to play against Wayne Gretzky, try to figure out what he's going to do, but it can't be any picnic to wonder where the puck is going after it's on Denny Savard's stick. He was dipsy-doodling out there. Is there anything you can do to stop him from mesmerizing you?
Well, he's been he was very explosive tonight, and when he seemed to get the puck, there was a great momentum build on their hockey club, and I think the job for us to do is to keep the puck away from him and pick him up early in his zone so he can't wind up.
There can't be any tiredness involved in this team. Of course, you haven't really been extended against Winnipeg and Calgary, and here's